What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 12 Hectoliters Chapter 281 The frustrated Shinigami frowned, but with his god-level perception, he still couldn't find the way for the 7 stars to appear. This time, Shinigami's god-level perception was fully activated, and he had direct insight into the movements of half of the Pure Land world. Even so, he only knew that the 7 stars appeared inexplicably from the void. This gave Shinigami an illusion. This guy in front of me is anything but simple. At this time, Qixing appeared, extending his right fist forward, and a terrifying momentum surrounded the fist wind. Immediately after, Tianya used it very close to him and appeared next to Shinigami in an instant. 10 times the Kaio fist was easily punched out by 7 stars. The 7 stars at this moment carry great power. A punch hit Shinigami in the face. But it's such a powerful attack. A direct hit on the side of Shinigami's face only caused him to slightly shake and take half a step back. Shinigami smiled contemptuously. The force is good. Are you done with it? It's my turn. Point it out when you're done. A ball of green energy is gathering at the fingertips. Then he took off his fingers, and then the energy flew past the ears of the 7 stars in front of him, and continued to fly towards the void above his head. When everyone was wondering how Shinigami's attack could miss, a long sword slashed out from the void. Collide with this green energy light. There was a bang, and the void was shattered by the blow. Everyone below felt that the void was shaking. And in the sky, in the broken void, a tall and handsome figure stood in it. This person's eyes were spiral-shaped, with 9 Magatama looming in them. The green energy Shinigami just emitted was absorbed by these strange eyes, and this who else could a person be if he were not the real 7 stars? I only heard Qixing chuckle. I thought it would take you a while to find my specific location? Yes, I am worthy of being a true god-level powerhouse. My perception is really strong. I radiate through space. The trace of breath that came out was also captured by you. At this moment, Shinigami frowned and looked at Nanahoshi in front of him. He saw that he was holding a sword in his right hand and standing with his hands behind his back, with a smile. Shinigami looked unbelieving. Is this your true body? Beyond the peak of the 6th level? Shinigami obviously didn't believe that this was the true body of Qixing. Qixing said, if it's fake, this is my true body, Uchiha Qixing. After saying this, Qixing made a move, and the fake 7 star on the ground turned directly into a divine weapon. This was the 7 star sword, and 10,000 meters away, there were 2 divine weapons flying towards this side. It was exactly the heavenly ghoul halberd forged from 7 stars, and the newly forged ape demon Rui stick. These 3 weapons were all weapons that Qixing used to have handy. However, as their strength became stronger and stronger, these weapons were unable to withstand their own strength, so Qixing cast and upgraded all of them, and finally became artifacts. As for the appearance of the 3 7 stars just now, they were all transformed into the 3-handled artifacts of the 7 stars, and this transformation ability is a special reward for the system to upgrade to the 5th level, thousands of incarnations. Every body that is formed is the true body, but every time a body is divided, the strength of Qixing will be reduced. At the same time, a god-level weapon is needed as a medium to carry energy. Advertisement. Although Shinigami doesn't believe that this is Nanahoshi's clone, he would rather kill the wrong one than let it go. Then with a wave of his hand, countless natural energies swarmed towards the 7 stars. Qixing seemed to be in the sea at this moment, being squeezed by the terrifying force of oppression. The space around the 7 stars began to distort. But Nanahoshi himself was not harmed at all. Seeing this, Shinigami held up his hands to the sky, and a huge ice blade rose from the ground and shot toward Nanahe. Qixing chuckled softly, and at some point a colorful little dragon appeared above his head. Everyone exclaimed when they saw what was on top of that kid's head. It seemed to be a cub of the elemental dragon clan. How could it be possible that that race had not been wiped out long ago? When Shinigami saw the little dragon above Qixing's head, his eyes lit up. It turned out to be an elemental creature. You're lucky, but unfortunately, I want to see how much this newborn elemental creature can help you. Then he shouted loudly again, Bing is coming. At this moment, not only was a huge ice sword on the ground rushing towards Qixing, but 4 giant swords also appeared in an instant, rushing towards Qixing. Qixing just snapped his fingers with his right hand and let the ice swords pierce his body. At this moment, everyone watching the show below exclaimed, does that kid not want his life? Those are the attacks of lower gods, all with laws. He didn't have much. This kid is dead. Even if he is not dead, he is at least seriously injured and on the verge of death. However, they were destined to be disappointed. The 5 ice swords indeed stabbed Qixing, but after the snap of Qixing's fingers, the whole body instantly turned into nothingness in the air. After the 5 giant swords collided together, they exploded with a bang. There was no bells and whistles, but ice cubes rained down from the entire sky. This time, Shinigami could not find the 7 stars again. What kind of hiding method does this guy have? Even my god-level perception can be easily deceived. After saying this, Shinigami only felt a burning pain in his back. This was not an injury, but an attack that was very close to Shinigami's back. His body's instinctive reaction told him that if he ate this injury, he would be injured. Shinigami had no time to turn around, but the looming halo behind him suddenly lit up. While the halo enveloped Shinigami, the huge sword light had already hit Shinigami's back. There was a dull thud, like hitting a morning bell. The noise was deafening. But Shinigami's divine light still prevented this terrifying blow. But before Shinigami could check the attacker behind him, another terrifying attack appeared in front of him. This time it was a huge palm, which directly slapped Shinigami to the ground. Bang! The entire Soul Sky City was shaking under this palm. But the giant palm could not be captured anyway, because Shinigami reacted again and successfully resisted. Although Shinigami was very powerful and didn't suffer any injuries at all, this kind of attack was completely disgusting to him, and let him be off guard again. Shinigami roared, "Rat, originally this world does not allow the use of divine power, because once used, it is likely to destroy the world. But your ignorance has successfully angered me, die. Let this world be buried with you." Chapter 282 Everyone escapes from the Pure Land World. After saying these words, Shinigami seemed to be untied from some kind of restraint, and a shadow of divine power behind him instantly rose to a height of 10,000 meters. For the first time, the aura of the lower god was opened without reservation, infecting the void. It only took a moment to find Qixing, and a terrifying fist wind hit the hidden position of Qixing. Qixing ducked to avoid it. Although he doesn't want Shinigami to destroy this world, because as long as Shinigami dies, this world will become his own. But the Shinigami is too powerful at the moment. Cycling had to cope with it all. But because Shinigami's aura was too strong, with this punch, the Pure Land world finally could not withstand Shinigami's power, and parts of it began to collapse, and the mountains and rivers also collapsed at this moment. A huge flood swept across the entire Pure Land world, and countless ordinary people died in this natural disaster. Countless hostless spirits converged on Shinigami's 10,000-meter body. Countless resentments gathered in Shinigami's body, and his strength became stronger. Seeing that this guy finally showed his true intentions, Qixing no longer held back. The 5th Super Saiyan transformation started instantly, from yellow hair at the beginning, to green hair, to black hair wrapped in thunder, to super blue, and finally to dark blue. In less than a second, terrifying airwaves surged out of Qixing's body, and dark blue flames enveloped Qixing. Blue hair shoots up into the sky. At this moment, the aura around Qixing was only half as good as Shinigami's. Shinigami couldn't believe it when he saw this. How is that possible? How could you have such a bloodline? At this moment, Shinigami had no idea that Qixing's bloodline could bring him such a terrifying increase. The situation that he thought was a sure win turned out to have such an accident. But Shinigami deserves to be the only true god in the Pure Land world. How could he use the 7 stars, the external power obtained after transformation? Then with a big move, the endless storm crashed towards Qixing. But Qixing's body at this moment has reached the terrifying god level, and he doesn't care about the attacks of the natural laws of this world. Without any movement at all, just his body was able to withstand this terrifying attack. However, how could Shinigami's attack be so simple? His big hand shook in the sky again, and then the 9 elements formed a giant dragon and immediately attacked the 7 stars. Qixing seemed to be preparing for some action, as his body was motionless in the sky. The elemental dragon standing above him tilted his head, and a stream of strange energy enveloped the 7 stars. After the giant dragon formed of 9 elements came into contact with the 7 stars, it passed directly through the body. Shinigami also knew at this moment that the boy had many tricks, and natural energy and elemental attacks could not harm him at all. At this moment, Shinigami roared, carrying the phantom of terrifying power behind him, and rushed towards the 7 stars, vowing to fight in close combat. At this moment, Qixing not only activated the Super 5 transformation, but also activated various abilities to increase his power. At the same time, he carved an unknown formation around himself. The power also rose to the limit at this moment, and it was not empty at all Shinigami. With the divine light behind it. The two people were thousands of meters apart at this moment, but they collided with each other in less than a second. At this time, everyone in the distance could only see 2 streams of light colliding in the sky, and could not see clearly the movements of the 2 people. After all, this was no longer a battle that could be seen in this world. At this time, Kagaya-ji looked at the 7 stars in the sky, her eyes shining with light. "Master Jieli, do you say that the 7 stars look like an old friend of yours?" "Yes, they are very similar. Their expressions, movements, and personalities are all very similar, but I'm afraid he has reached his 3rd reincarnation, and I can no longer easily recognize him. Even if the kid in front of me is him, he is no longer him I know." Advertisement. "Oh, it's so profound. Master Jieli, do you think Qixing will win?" "It's difficult. It's a true god level. It's ridiculously strong. Shinigami has just made use of the newborn heavens breakthrough. It's difficult to fully control the power at once. If it takes a few days, it may be completely different. Although this is his weakest period at the god level, it is also a true god level powerhouse. If Qixing cannot defeat him this time, he will have no chance in the future. Well, that little guy from Qixing will definitely win." "Oh, you think so highly of him, do you like him?" "No, it doesn't mean that I like you. I don't have the qualifications. I just envy and admire you. I watched him go from being immortal to being on par with gods now. It only took less than 30 years. His talent, or the power behind him, should surpass this square universe. I have seen the personal records of our ancestor, Lord Shenshi, in the genealogy. When he reaches the stage of God, he can walk freely in this direction, in the multiverse." "Haha, yes, Shenshi is indeed the strongest person in this multiverse. I wrote that family essay myself. At that time, he took me to many worlds. Any space storms and natural energy or you can't corrode him. Even I didn't know he had reached that state. However, due to his skill, he will be reincarnated every 10,000 years. In the next reincarnation, he will not remember himself in the previous life, but he will slowly awaken his terrifying strength. The terrifying thing about the realm of gods is that they can easily control the world. Although Qixing cannot control the world, the terrifying power contained in his body is enough to destroy the world. The battle between these two people will probably be ruined, this pure world. And my body has not recovered yet, so I can only protect myself. Sure enough, what Jia Li said was right. Although the battle between Qixing and Shinigami took place in the sky, the energy pouring down was directly sprinkled on the earth. The Pure Land world at this moment simply cannot bear the battle of such a god-level powerhouse. The originally broken earth began to crack, and countless mountains and rivers were flattened by the torrent of energy. The world was falling apart, and the two people in the battle couldn't tell each other apart. Everyone below saw that this world was about to be destroyed, and they all fell into panic. Only the big families knew that this Pure Land world was connected to many small worlds. I had already prepared everything, dragged my family with me, and rushed to a place with a teleportation channel. At this moment, Kagaya-ji looked at the two fighting people and said to herself again, "Is there any way for Master Jieli to leave with Qixing's subordinates?" "Of course you can leave. Look at the outside of the ruined Soul Sky City. The square as a whole, it should be a super artifact, and all the teleportation arrays on it have been opened by Lao Bai." Chapter 283 The Final Battle. Hearing this, Kagaya-ji looked at the teleportation square and saw many Soul Tiancheng and former big families, all running towards the teleportation square with their clan members, hoping to go to other worlds through the teleportation channel. Hey, those in power must have thought about everything a long time ago, and they all rushed to the teleportation square. Don't they have the authority to use this teleportation array? You are not in this world, and you have been sealed for too long. You still don't understand some deep-rooted families. If they can't even open up these connections, they are not worthy of establishing a foothold in this Soul Heaven City. While the two were talking, rumbling sounds continued to sound in the sky, and at this moment, in the teleportation square, all the 49 teleportation channels were brightly lit. Obviously those families and Mr. Bai may have had friendship for a long time. After nodding to each other, they all walked into the teleportation array. Several people under Qixing's command also gathered together under the guidance of Kagaya-ji, and stood in front of the passage to the ninja world. After all, the ninja world is the headquarters of the 7 stars. As Qixing's most capable assistant, Kagaya-hime can still figure this out. At this time, several people were silent and looked up at the sky. At this time, the sky and even the space had collapsed. Kagaya-ji gave an order and everyone stepped into the transmission channel to the ninja world. At this time, the Pure Land of Heaven and the New Life of Heaven are still competing. Devour each other. It seems that the last moment has been reached. It all depends on who has the stronger foundation and who can have the last laugh. Only Nanahoshi and Shinigami were still fighting hand to hand. Now the two of them are already the most primitive fists, but every punch of Shinigami has the power of rules, and although Qixing has no divine power, every punch of his has a strange energy that can actually break through turn on Shinigami's divine defense. At this moment, both of them were angry and drew out their weapons at the same time. Qixing once again took out his super artifact, the Dimensional Blade. Shinigami took out a weird long whip with countless evil ghost patterns carved on it, extremely ferocious. The moment the long whip was swung, hundreds of ghosts came out, all rushing towards the 7 stars crazily. Qixing was stunned. Ghost, I don't know what it is called. Qixing took out a small beast from somewhere. The beast's eyes were closed, and it was obviously still sleeping, but Qixing just poked the beast's chin. "Dinner is ready, Eggy." After saying these words, the little beast opened its big mouth. In an instant, the space of a kilometer in front of Qixing was swallowed up by the little beast. Even the dark matter in this space disappeared without a trace, not to mention the long whip that had just been taken from Shinigami, the 100 ghosts rushing towards the 7 stars. Shinigami looked surprised. "You have so many helpers, first the top race of the Elemental Clan, the Elemental Dragon, and now the Teodi. Could it be that you are a descendant of the family in the world?" When Qixing heard this, he said, "There really is a great world." This is the first time Qixing has heard of it. Although he knew about the great world before, it was all false and fictitious. Now that he heard it from a strong man like Shinigami, it shouldn't be false. Nanaxing really wants to ask about the Great Thousand Worlds, because it may be related to the astrolabe in his hand, but Qixing knows that it is impossible for Shinigami to tell him this information. He simply put away his balls without saying much, and a white light lit up on the dimensional blade. The white light was slashed diagonally by the 7 stars, and the space was divided into 2. However, Shinigami reacted at the same time, and the weird long whip was also thrown directly out. A terrifying whip shadow spanned 1,000 meters and was thrown towards the 7-star front door. Advertisement: the 7-star figure, when the whip shadow struck at him, turned into elements again, but this time the 7-star figure was not so lucky, and the elemental form could not avoid the slash of Shinigami's long whip. While Qixing was in the hollow, he blocked hastily with both hands, and a shield-like energy lighted up at the intersection. At the same time, the long whip fell, with a loud bang, and Qixing was directly knocked back 1,000 meters. Only then did he stand firmly, but his hands had already begun to tremble. It was obvious that the power of Shinigami's attack was beyond Nanahoshi's imagination. However, the surrounding area of the 7 stars is the battlefield between the two heavenly Tao. The struggle between these two heavenly Tao has now reached a fever pitch. No matter who devours the other, they will probably suffer considerable losses. If these two guys are willing to merge, then there may be room for preservation of this planet. At this moment, Qixing opened them all, reluctantly turned into 10,000 points, and purchased 2 high-level favor charms. The 2 parties doing the effect were Liangfang Tiandao. The 7 stars were thrown out casually without anyone stopping him, and the talisman instantly disappeared into Liangfang Tiandao's body. It depends on these two guys next. On the other side, Shinigami saw Nanohoshi's dimensional slash. There was no time to dodge, the whip pole blocked it, the divine light shone from behind, and the divine power flowed crazily on the whip. Finally, when he retreated 100 meters, the lethality of this Yuan Zong was offset. But at the last moment, Shinigami saw the talisman thrown by Qixing. Although he didn't know what it was, and he didn't feel anything unusual about the new heaven, a strange feeling emerged in Shinigami's heart. But I can't tell. However, by now, the 2 7 stars have basically used all their methods, leaving only the last trump card. If the two of them use their ultimate moves at the same time, the planet Pure Land may be penetrated. But Shinigami no longer wants to waste time with Nanohoshi. I saw the divine light behind Shinigami explode, and the dense air between heaven and earth enveloped a radius of 10,000 meters, including the 7 stars. Looking at Shinigami again, in the eyes of the 7 stars, it has become infinite. Shinigami is simple at this moment. Qixing felt that there was no place to escape from the punch, and even if it was a hard hit, there was only a dead end. At this moment, Qixing could only ask the system for help. After all, the real realms between the two were too different. Master System, is there any way to block this blow? Ding. Tong Su Wu Bully Injury Reduction Talisman can reduce 70% of damage, close black lens bracket. If there is such a thing, buy it now. Ding. Host is converted into 50,000 points, and you can purchase a damage reduction charm 1. Close black lens bracket. Ding. Congratulations to Host for getting the damage reduction charm, close black lens bracket. The damage reduction talisman can reduce the damage received by 70% and lasts for 1 second, close black lens bracket. When Nanohoshi saw it for only 1 second, he was silent for a moment, but this kind of heaven-defying thing is not bad for 1 second. At this time, Nanohoshi held the trump card and was not afraid, just watching Shinigami's sky-covering fist towards him. Come. Shinigami was also a little bit confused about what this kid had to offer, even though he didn't even do a symbolic dodge. Did he know that he was going to die and gave up on resisting? Chapter 284 Exploding the Divine Body and Trying to Seize It. Despite this, Shinigami did not hold back at all. The huge fist shadow crashed straight into Qixing. At the same time, Qixing also crushed the talisman in his hand. At this moment there was a loud bang, like a bell, resounded throughout heaven and earth. Those ordinary people who had not left all covered their heads and fell to the ground at this moment, as if they were about to explode. However, those cultivators with some strength all had their faces changed greatly, and they used their soul power crazily, and shouted, "Go quickly, take the teleportation array and leave quickly. Otherwise, we will be like those people who have no cultivation." At this moment, all the cultivators rushed towards the transmission channel frantically. However, a few seconds later, when the sound that shook the world stopped, the big heads of those ordinary people really exploded like watermelons. As for those cultivators with some strength, although they were not as ordinary people, they would vomit blood at least, or belch on the spot at worst. At this moment, several old men who opened the barrier to resist this terrifying sound wave sighed, "It's really a fight between gods and mortals. Let's go, guys, if we do this again, we won't even have a chance to leave." After saying that, several old men who transcended the 9th level, led their clansmen, and stepped into the transmission channel to the lower world. Of course at this moment, neither Nanohoshi nor Shinigami knew the sins suffered by mortals, still fighting selflessly. In the blow just now, Qixing was basically uninjured due to the damage reduction charm, and he was still fighting on the spot. And the 2 Tiandao who were planted with each other's goodwill charms finally began to merge into one, just as Qixing had guessed. Shinigami seemed to feel something. He raised his head and looked at the 2 heavens. He was furious. The things I have cultivated so hard are willing to merge with the Pure Land. It is unforgivable. Thinking of this, he rushed forward and these 2 guys were torn apart. But Nanohoshi's dimensional blade strikes Shinigami head on again. Seeing this, Shinigami raised his left hand and pinched the dimensional blade. He stretched his right hand forward and pinched Nanahe's neck. With just a twist, he actually twisted Nanahe's neck off. However, the body of Nanahe's neck was twisted off. In an instant, it immediately turned into a magic weapon. The next moment, Shinigami secretly said something bad. While the divine power surrounded his whole body, his figure quickly retreated. But it was too late. Nanohoshi finally ignored the consequences, and while activating the 5th Super Sailor Transformation Dark Blue Transformation, he once again used the 100 times Kaio Fist. This blow was completely overloaded for Nanahe's body. After using it, he will enter a weak state. If the opponent does not die, Qixing is the lamb to be slaughtered. But Qixing had planned everything from the beginning, and had been waiting for this opportunity for several hours. The 100 times Kaio Fist hit Shinigami's back chest hard, and a terrifying penetrating force carried white light. This punch not only penetrated Shinigami's abdomen, but even directly penetrated the Pure Land world. At the same time, because the punch was too strong, Shinigami's broken body flew to the ground, and hit the ground with a loud bang. At this moment, Shinigami looked at his abdomen in disbelief. There was nothing there. Then when he looked at the 7 crumbling stars in the sky, an unknown anger surged into his heart. How dare you, an ignorant mortal, hurt this god? Advertisement, die. After saying that, he was ready to stand up and kill Qixing. But the next moment, the body clinging to the ground could not escape the attraction of the ground no matter what. He was actually attracted to the pure land by a strange force. At this moment, Shinigami's shining golden divine blood continued to flow to the ground. Shinigami wanted to rely on his strong recovery power to kill the weakened Nanahe, but unexpectedly, Nanahe had already laid a trap underneath him. This was exactly the formation barrier that Nanahe had set up before the war started, named the God-killing Trap Dragon Formation as a 9th-level formation produced by the system. Not to mention lower gods, even upper gods cannot escape. 50,000 points are not in vain. Although the current 7 stars are also weak, Shinigami cannot get out of this formation no matter what. At the same time, waves of heat surged from the ground, eroding Shinigami's soul. Shinigami was shocked. This is the God-killing formation. It's something that only exists in the world. How can you have it? Hearing this, Nanahoshi shook his body, slowly came to Shinigami, and gave a slight hesitation. Oh, you certainly know the God-killing formation, and you also know the world. Boy, you are indeed a member of the world. I know you are here to experience it. You and I are not in conflict with each other. How about you let me go now and I can pretend that none of this has ever happened? Qixing looked weak at the moment, as if his young energy had been sucked dry by a woman. His face was pale, and his original god-level aura had dropped to his true strength, transcending the 5th level. But Nanahoshi stood there motionless, which made Shinigami anxious. However, Qixing's heart was focused on the system at the moment. When he heard Shinigami say the Great Thousand Worlds again, Qixing's eyes lit up, the Great Thousand Worlds. System. How much do you know about the world? Ding. The world is too far away, the system level is insufficient, and the detection distance cannot exceed 1 star C. Close black lens bracket. Is it so far away? How does Shinigami know about this vast world? After thinking about it, an idea flashed in Chi's mind again. If you want to get that information, you can only take a risk. Then with a wave of his hand, a burst of energy was sprinkled on the formation, and a tiny crack appeared in a place where Shinigami had not noticed. At this moment, the divine blood in Shinigami's body was quickly extracted by the formation. Sensing his own condition, Shinigami struggled wildly in the formation and promised great benefits to Qixing, but Qixing ignored him at all. Seeing that Qixing was not a good guy, Shinigami was heartbroken. Anyway, he's dead. It's better to take this son away. After all, the power of his bloodline is no worse than that of the 10,000 souls sacred body. Although the compatibility is not high, at least can live. Thinking of this, Shinigami immediately made a decision. He bit his silver teeth and exploded his body, using up several trump cards at the same time. The formation was crumbling due to the self-destruction of the divine corpse, but in the end it persisted. Shinigami frowned. That shouldn't be the case. The method I just used cannot be blocked even by the formation deployed by the middle god. But the next moment, Shinigami's spirit body twisted its eyes and discovered a gap in the formation. Overjoyed in his heart, his soul body got out of the formation and ran towards the 7 stars. Chapter 285. Failed to seize the body. I will die if I do this again. Seeing this scene, Qixing looked horrified on the outside, but actually he was laughing inside. This guy is still fooled, my lord. As long as you dare to seize your body, I dare to absorb your memory. The secrets of the world are waving to me. Thinking of this, a successful smile appeared on Qixing's face. Shinigami saw Qixing's frightened and silly look, and roared, "You pretentious boy. I'll see how you die this time." At this moment, Shinigami's soul turned into black smoke, instantly covering the weakened 7 stars. At this moment, a familiar scene appeared in Qixing's mind. Shinigami's soul body, as soon as he entered Qixing's body, immediately went to the depths of Qixing's spiritual sea. He had already thought about it. He must first torture this kid's soul until he is dead, and then use 180 kinds of torture to make Qixing's soul alive. It would be better to die. Then when he is at his most desperate, take his body and destroy his soul. Shinigami has already thought about all this, including the method he will use and how long the torture will last. But when he entered the depths of the 7 stars spiritual sea, he was confused. Everything in front of him didn't look like the depths of the sea of consciousness. It was obviously a back garden for him. A magnificent back garden. At this moment, Shinigami looked at all this with a bewildered face. Did I enter the wrong place? At this time, Qixing's figure came out from behind Shinigami. You have entered the wrong place. This is really the depth of my sea of consciousness. Look, the one in front of you is the core of my sea of consciousness. If you don't believe me, go and take a look. Shinigami looked at the phantom of the 7 stars as if he had seen a ghost. You shouldn't be here. Shouldn't your conscious body come out of that light group? Yes, I came out just now, but I am everywhere. Go and occupy that light group. At this moment, Shinigami was a little suspicious that Qixing was crazy, or that he had heard wrongly, who would tell the enemy about his weakness and let the enemy take away his life. What the hell are you doing, kid? Why is your sea of consciousness different from others? Oh, I also want to know this. Why don't you ask the spirit system later? When Shinigami heard the spirit connection, he didn't know why, and then a surge of anger surged up again. Boy, I don't care why your consciousness is like this, but you will definitely die today. As he spoke, Shinigami dragged his long black smoke-like soul body and rushed towards the light group in the 7 stars consciousness sea. Advertisement. But before Shinigami could reach the front of the light group, an invisible net instantly enveloped Shinigami. It was too late for Shinigami to retreat. He saw it operating terrifying soul power, and its body formed by thick black smoke rapidly grew in size. It wanted to burst the invisible network, but unfortunately, no matter how big Shinigami became, the invisible network would also follow. At the same time, this space is also growing with Shinigami's body. Shinigami's eyes were round at this moment. No, it's impossible. This is how the space of the Sea of Consciousness can change its size at will. Even the upper gods cannot convert the space of the Sea of Consciousness at will. How did you do it? Who are you? Boy, who are you? Tell me. Qixing touched his nose, looking like he didn't know. But Shinigami is also the soul of a lower god after all. How could he use this method? At this moment, Shinigami's black soul body retreated rapidly. A black ink knife was pulled out from the soul body, and then the black light flashed from the blade, and the golden net was cut open with one strike. Shinigami immediately stepped out and went straight to the golden light at the center of the 7 stars Sea of Consciousness. The ink knife in his hand kept waving, and dark blade shadows crisscrossed the Sea of Consciousness. At this moment, the magnificent Sea of Consciousness was riddled with holes by the ink knife. At this time, Shinigami finally came to the golden light and raised his hand to grab the beating golden light group in front of him. He knew that as long as he swallowed this light group, it would be considered as a success in seizing the body. He had never thought about why Qixing's consciousness was he didn't come out to stop him, he just thought it was because he was too powerful and frightened him. The next moment, Shinigami swallowed the light ball directly into his soul body. After doing all this, Shinigami laughed wildly. Boy, come out, now your consciousness has nowhere to hide, and it can't stop me. At this time, Shinigami directly regards this Sea of Consciousness as its home court. The ink knife in his hand was swung again, trying to kill the 7-star consciousness body in the distance on the spot. But at the moment when he swung the sword, his soul body was not under the control of his consciousness at all. Instead, he threw away the 10,000 souls Zanpo that he had refined with thousands of souls. Shinigami's consciousness was a little confused at this moment. Why I threw away my weapon? This is not my idea. However, in the next second, Shinigami tore open a spiritual talisman that didn't know where it came from and stuck it on his forehead. A dispersing force that shook the soul and body swept through Shinigami's body. The soul body that was originally a lower god was reduced to the 9th level of transcendence in an instant, and this trend is still happening. Shinigami was confused. What's going on? The soul power in my body is decreasing rapidly. This is impossible. This is impossible. As he spoke, he wanted to shake off the talisman seal on his forehead, but this movement was like a maggot attached to the bone. He could not break free no matter what. At the same time, his soul power once again dropped from the 9th level of transcendence to the 7th level of transcendence. Shinigami finally became anxious. Boy, I give up, let me go. But Qixing in the distance paid no attention to him, he just touched his chin as if he was thinking about something. When Shinigami didn't answer, Shinigami panicked because his soul power had once again been reduced to the 5th level of transcendence, which was only a little longer. At this moment, Shinigami looked at Qixing with a sad face. Stop doing this, brother, I will die if you do this again. Chapter 286 Shinigami's memory. As Shinigami speaks, his soul power is still declining rapidly, and the depths of Qixing's Sea of Consciousness have been filled with Shinigami's soul power and are rapidly expanding. It is obvious that this is a systematic method to seize Shinigami's creation. To strengthen the soul body of Qixing. Qixing's physical body is already very strong. If his soul body is as strong as his physical body, I'm afraid a monster with no shortcomings will be born. And Shinigami was already in despair. The terrifying soul power around him was about to fall to the immortal level. How could he not be afraid? At this moment, Shinigami had given up resistance. He did not expect that he would become what he is now without even seeing the appearance of his enemy. But it's too late to regret now. At this time, the scene turned to the outside of Qixing's Sea of Consciousness. Except for Qixing alone, this pure land world was already empty. Of course, there might be some powerful beasts that hid their traces and survived. But those are the minority after all. Most of them died in the battle between Nanahoshi and Shinigami. Although the earth, mountains, and rivers have stopped cracking at this moment, the broken appearance cannot be restored in a short time. Looking at Qixing's current situation, he was also extremely uncomfortable. He kept covering his head. After all, most people could not bear such terrifying soul power being released into his Sea of Consciousness all at once. The same goes for Qixing at this moment. His brain seems to be filled with air and is expanding rapidly. Qixing could only sit in the air, constantly absorbing these soul powers, but obviously, Qixing's absorption speed was too slow, so he could only spend points to speed up the absorption, which could cost thousands of points every minute. And this state lasted for half an hour. After spending nearly 100,000 points, Qixing's strength has also improved significantly. Looking at the aura around Qixing at this moment, it turned out that it had risen from the 6th level of transcendence to the 9th level of transcendence. This is the effect of most of the soul power nourishing the 7-star soul. Just the overflowing soul power raised Qixing's strength to the 9th level of transcendence. This was a great opportunity. With excitement, Qixing entered Samadhi again. I don't know how long it took. Qixing stabilized his strength, and his spiritual mind once again penetrated his sea of consciousness. At this moment, Shinigami's soul was already dying. Looking at Shinigami now, it was terrible. The dense light surrounding him had long since disappeared, replaced by it as a kind of ordinary, and this ordinary atmosphere is almost the same as that of the villages in the ninja world. The powerful spirit of the 7 stars walked up to Shinigami, but Shinigami seemed not to notice. He lowered his head and half knelt on the ground, muttering to himself, "No way, I can't lose. I've been planning for nearly 10,000 years, how can I lose?" Suddenly Shinigami raised his head, his eyes like black holes, staring at Qixing. "It's you, it's all your fault. Everything is because of the appearance of this variable like you. Who are you? Why can your true spirit core control my actions and absorb my soul power to grow?" Qixing smiled and said, "Don't think so much, to be honest, you didn't lose unjustly. My true spirit core has long been integrated with other terrifying things. What you see is just a replacement he created, it's just a product. Everyone who wants to seize my body will suffer from this." Advertisement. Hearing this, Shinigami seemed to understand something. Are you the reincarnation of a strong man in the world? Oh, I also have such questions, that's why I've kept you here until now. In this world, I really hope there's the answer I want. After saying this, Nanahoshi walked towards Shinigami. "What do you want to do? Don't come here, stay away from me." But the 7 stars are getting closer and closer to Shinigami. Shinigami wants to struggle to stand up, but at this moment his soul body is already weak to the ultimate. Nanahoshi brushed Shinigami's head with his left hand. Shinigami's black smoke-like body seemed to be being swallowed by a whale, and it rushed towards Qixing's palm crazily. The next second, Nanahoshi sat cross-legged and quickly sorted through the Shinigami's memories, started to just watch Shinigami's life. In the process again, I also learned another secret, the division of world levels. The world is divided into primary world, intermediate world, advanced world, big world and main world, 5 levels. Shinigami was originally born in a high-level world, and his life was full of sunshine, but he was invaded by the Otsutsuki clan's ancestor, the Otsutsuki divine style, who was good at fighting. Countless strong men fought back one after another. But after all, the strength is limited. The entire high-level world is even more miserable than the current Pure Land world. It is beaten to pieces and cannot bear the reproduction of life at all. Those who survived were brought back to the ancestral star by the Otsutsuki clan and became slaves. The dark work began, but this guy Shinigami has been very smart since he was a child. Even in that dark place, his strength has been raised to cage level. And during a riot, he successfully escaped from the dark place. But the good times did not last long. There were many strong men in the Otsutsuki clan. When they learned that Shinigami had escaped, they sent strong men to chase him. It was a coincidence that at this time, Shinigami was very lucky. The ancestor of Otsutsuki was entering reincarnation due to his martial arts. It was when he needed the protection of the strong family members that Shinigami successfully escaped. After traveling to several worlds, his strength grew rapidly, and finally he chose the Pure Land, a place that was extremely suitable for his physical growth to take root. In this world, Shinigami only stood on top of the world after 1,000 years of planning. After 1,000 years, Shinigami began to explore the secrets of this world. Various secret places are found by Shinigami, and hollowed out the treasures within. After doing all this, Shinigami began to invade other elementary worlds. Grab resources and prepare for your breakthrough to a higher stage. This plan lasted nearly 10,000 years. Originally, I wanted to upgrade this world to a high level and make the Pure Land the hub of all primary worlds and intermediate worlds. But unfortunately, when this plan was about to succeed, a world called the Ninja World appeared in his perception, the Hokage world. Although this world is an elementary world, the indigenous people there are useless and have not explored the entire world at all, and there are countless scarce resources in it. Shinigami sprinkled many ninjutsu and forbidden techniques on the ninja world, and successfully established bonds with the strong ones in the ninja world. Finally, after decades of hard work, a channel connected the two worlds. But at this time, Shinigami encountered his lifelong enemy, Uchiha Qixing. Chapter 287 Divine Plan. This encounter may have been a fate, but just one glance made Shinigami feel the urge to kill Nanahoshi. He tried every means to erase it, but at that time, the divine body he planned had not yet been obtained, so the matter of Qixing was put on hold until the divine body was obtained before he could kill the variable Qixing. But what he didn't expect was that this delay would cause his subsequent plans to collapse. In the end, even his own life was in the hands of Qixing. No, it should be in the hands of the system. Shinigami regretted it at this moment. Even if the strength has not improved, this kid should be killed first, but it was too late. At this moment, Qixing was watching Shinigami's life and was filled with emotions. He never expected that this guy would spend his whole life scheming against others. But there was no news about the Great Thousand World in his memory, which made Qixing feel very confused. It shouldn't be. This family clearly knows the news about the Great Thousand World. Why don't he have these things in his memory? System. Fully scan Shinigami's soul body to see the secrets of the scan hidden in it. Close black lens bracket. Ding. System scanning is in progress. Ding. It has been detected that there is a powerful restriction in Shinigami's mind. If the restriction is forcibly released, it will be destroyed directly. Only a trace of the soul remains. close black lens bracket. How much useful information can I get after the ban is lifted? Ding. About 25%. Close black lens bracket, then what are you waiting for? Lift the ban directly. Ding. Should host spend 90,000 points to forcibly lift the ban in Shinigami's memory? Yes, ding. The ban is being forcibly lifted, and the lift is successful. Host obtains 21% of Shinigami's hidden memory fragments. Close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket whether to absorb, close black lens bracket, yes. Ding. Host is absorbing memory. Ding. Memory absorption successful. Just as Qixing was absorbing memories, a young man in gray clothes walked out of a forbidden area on the ancestral star of the Otsutsuki clan. The disciples of the Otsutsuki clan who guarded the forbidden area were all shocked. This handsome boy looked exactly like the portrait of his ancestor when he was young. Since this guy can come out of the secluded place of his ancestor, he must be related to his ancestor. Advertisement, is he? Before several people could reveal the young man's identity, just a flick of his fingers caused several people to fall to the ground instantly. This move alarmed the clan members not far away. Upon seeing this, everyone rushed towards the entrance of the forbidden area and shouted at the same time, "Go and inform the elders that a young man has walked out of the family forbidden area and his identity is unknown." And this handsome young man had just walked out of the forbidden area and ignored the shouts of those people. He just frowned slightly and murmured, "Yuzan Shinigami, this little guy's soul body was actually broken by someone. Even I gave it to him back then. The memory that imposed the ban on him has also been lifted. Is he dead? Or someone else has broken through to become a higher god in this dimensional universe? Haha, it's getting more and more interesting. Since someone has made a breakthrough, I don't have to hide. Everyone in the world thinks that I will be reincarnated with my memories every 10,000 years, but as everyone knows, this time I am reborn from Nirvana. 10,000 years have passed, and this time my Sanju Zongong has finally been completed, and my strength has reached the level of the upper gods no longer need to guard against those old guys. If the plan can be fully promoted this time, I think there is no need to fear other forces even in the vast world. Ha 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 ha. This laughter shook the sky. When the disciples of the Otsutsuki clan who came around heard the sound, they instantly covered their heads and fell to the ground twitching. On the planet further away, many sleeping old men sensed this breath and woke up one after another. He is back, and his strength has improved greatly. It seems that this time, no one can stop him from opening the passage to the world. Then several powerful thoughts came into contact with each other, who said that, "We are not dead yet. I have no objection to that boy wanting to enter the world, but I will never agree to him wanting to keep the door open. There are so many powerful forces in the world. We have no ability to stop them from entering this dimensional world. Unless someone can break through to the Lord God realm and refine the core of the universe, only beings below the Lord God are allowed to enter this place. The universe. Otherwise, without restraint, our dimensional world would be plundered quickly. That guy with the god style, if he had another few thousand years, he would have a chance to do this. But I'm afraid his heart has long been attracted to the vast world. He is not willing to stay in this dimensional world and be a local snake. His plan, I'm afraid I'm more careful than you. I have to give it a try no matter what. Let's go and meet him together." As soon as the words fell, all the terrifying auras in the space disappeared, heading towards the ancestral land of the Otsutsuki clan. Now look at Qixing again. After half an hour of stabilization, Qixing finally sorted out Shinigami's hidden memory fragments. Although many of the memories only have a small part, the content of the news shocked Nanahe. This guy Shinigami turned out to be just a chess piece of the Otsutsuki god style. I'm afraid Shinigami himself doesn't know the news. All these plans are just the tip of the iceberg of Otsutsuki's divine style. He wants to use chess pieces to connect the primary world with the intermediate world, and even the advanced world, which is also part of his plan. In a very important part of the memory, the ultimate goal of the divine form is to take this dimensional universe to the vast world. What a generous gesture. Who created the dimensional world? Qixing's heart is clear. The dimensional world is very big, and it includes many powerful people from different dimensions. As long as the dimensional world can really enter the world, this merit can even directly promote any high-level god. Advance across levels. But how did he convince other strong men in the god style to go crazy with him? Maybe the strength of Datung Wood god style is more than just a mid-level god. But based on this information alone, it is impossible to infer that he's strength. Chapter 288 Fusion of Two Realms. However, at this time, Shinigami's remaining soul began to roar. "Boy, I can't die. As long as I still have a soul, I can be resurrected again. Just wait." Hearing this, Qixing blinked and said, "I've already killed your karma. I'm afraid your other clones are already dead. If you want to be resurrected again, I'm afraid you have little chance." Shinigami was furious when he heard this. "You are not human at all, you devil." Hearing Shinigami's roar, Qixing couldn't help but chuckle. "You're right this time. Maybe I'm not a human anymore. As for whether I'm a devil, I don't know. But you are just a poor pawn. What are you talking about? B********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************* way, you still don't know that you are a chess piece of Dadung Wood God. Everything you do is to accumulate merit and faith for him. It is only now that I understand that the prohibition in your mind is not at all what kind of restriction is just a mark planted on you by Otsutsuki's divine form. I'm afraid his will can replace you at any time. Impossible. Impossible, I only met him once, just once. His realm at that time was only a mid-level god. There was no way he could have quietly planted any mark on me. Hey, it seems that you are just a pitiful person, then I will let you die. 80% of what you see is just a clone of him. His purpose is to take this dimensional world and step into the world together. Even an ordinary high-level god would find it difficult to do this. I think you should understand, and his ultimate goal is to make this dimensional world become a part of the world. You know what this means. It means that he can use this merit to impact the main god realm. If his true strength is not high enough, God's limit is that he cannot take such a risk. I guess this is just one of his ultimate goals. And you are just one of his many chess pieces. He even has many chess pieces like you in other elementary worlds or intermediate worlds. Think about whether you often have thoughts and actions that are out of your control. And there are some answers in your sealed memory. After speaking, Qixing directly passed the memories he had sorted out to Shinigami. As the saying goes, killing people and punishing the heart is nothing more than that. Seeing the scene from Qixing, Shinigami felt mixed in his heart. Shinigami wanted to refute at this moment, but suddenly thought of something and started laughing crazily. It turns out that all my uncontrollable behaviors came from him. A chess piece? Am I just a chess piece? Ha 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 ha, I'm just a chess piece. Smiling, Shinigami seemed to have figured everything out and was relieved. The black remnant soul gradually became transparent and blended into the world. At the same time, the new Heavenly Tao and the Pure Land Heavenly Tao, these two guys who were planted with goodwill charms, finally merged successfully. At this moment, the new Heavenly Tao turned into a big white cloud face and came to Qixing. Boy, although I completely control this world with your treasure, this world is about to be destroyed because of the battle between you and that guy. The world is destroyed, and the way of heaven cannot survive. Advertisement, I have thought about it. Since you gave me the way of the ninja world, then as long as you agree, I will now integrate the ninja world into this world. Relying on the integrity of the ninja world, I will try to see if I can repair this soon-to-be broken world. What do you think, kid? Hearing this, Qixing touched his chin with a sinister smile on his face. I agree, but if the two worlds are successfully integrated and promoted, I will take half of the merits of heaven. Hearing the seven-star lion's big mouth, Tiandao became angry. At the same time as lightning and thunder, a voice pierced the sky. Why don't you kid just grab it? Haha, of course I have thought about it, but that would be boring. If it weren't for the merit you voluntarily contributed, I wouldn't be able to use it if I snatched it, right? Cunning boy, no, I'll give you 10% at most. That's enough for you to advance. No, I want 50%, 30%, kid, no more. This is my limit. If it is more, I will not be able to fully control the newly formed world. Okay, deal. Why'd I feel like I've been fooled? Hurry up and get to work. If you delay it any longer, even if the two worlds are integrated, more resources will be consumed. Hearing this, the new Pure Land Heavenly Tao was so angry that he was itching his teeth, but he had no choice. Although he had complete control over this world, with that strange contract, he still could not cause any harm to Qixing. At this moment, the big face transformed into white clouds immediately dissipated, and the terrifying lightning and thunder in the sky also disappeared, replaced by countless natural forces that kept shrinking. I saw the earth rolling, and a large amount of earth and stone took the lead in filling the large hole that was penetrated below. Then the world shook. Compression. It was as if something had squeezed into this world. I don't know how long it took, but the world stopped shaking. Suddenly, countless dense air emerged from the void, instantly covering every corner of the world. At this moment, the scene changed. Come to the ninja world. The same situation occurs in the ninja world and the Pure Land world. The first is the sky, where countless natural energies gather and are colorful. The earth keeps shaking, as if it is collapsing downwards. The powerful men of the Five Nations Alliance looked up at the sky. Not only was the earth shaking, but even the sky began to vibrate with different frequencies. And the people who had just chosen to lead the ninja world from the Pure Land world were once again faced with despair. Oh no, I just escaped from the tiger's den and entered the wolf's den again. This time there is no transmission channel. I am dead. I am dead. All the people who had just arrived in the ninja world looked at the sky in despair, collapsed to the ground. Chapter 289 Deducing God's Plan. However, there are exceptions. I saw Otsutsuki Kagaya Ji, Shadow Sha, Long Ao Wushan, Dragon Blood War Ji, Xing Wushang, Yan Linglong, Man Niu, Fat Tiger and others who had just walked out of the passage, and they all breathed a sigh of relief. They also saw the turmoil in the world, but they signed a contract with Qixing and just received a message from Qixing. I know that the changes happening at this moment are signs that the two worlds are merging. We only need to stabilize the overall situation of this world and ensure that most people will not be squeezed to death by space. When the two worlds are successfully integrated, merit will naturally fall. These are Lord Qixing's exact words. Although several people did not know the role of merit, they believed that Master Qixing would not harm them. However, Kagaya Ji and Jia Li knew the merits clearly. That thing is related to the world, and its rarity is unimaginable. If you get a trace of it, your strength will increase by leaps and bounds. It seems that Master Qixing has played a big game this time. Let's go. I believe everyone has received the message from Master Qixing. The people in this world are too weak. Try to kill them as much as possible. Set off. Seeing Kagaya Ji speak, several people dispersed one after another. With Qixing absent, Kagaya-ji obviously became their leader. In just a few breaths, the 10 people were divided into 5 teams and arranged terrifying formations in the 5 major countries. Isolate the disasters of heaven and earth. At this moment, everyone in the 5 Nations Alliance can see the blue light in the sky that blocks out the sun. The leader of the 5 Nations Alliance, Uzumaki Naruto, and the deputy leader Uchiha Sasuke, look solemn. Their strength at the moment is comparable to that of mid-level immortals, but in the eyes of Dadanmu Kagaya and others, the immortals are no different from trash. Naruto and Sasuke became much calmer as they grew older, and they also had their own descendants. They knew there was nothing they could do, so they could only watch helplessly as the sky shielding formation enveloped them. But those people who came from the Pure Land world saw this blue light formation and exclaimed, "This formation has completely isolated the turbulence of natural space. Move quickly and enter the formation quickly, it is safe there." As he spoke, a large number of Pure Land people poured into the blue light of the 5 Nations Alliance. Only the Tiansho sect, a powerful and transcendent force, is as stable as Mount Tai because it is guarded by the peak immortal level Hydra and White Phosphorus, and at the same time, the Cave Heaven formation also isolates everything outside. But at this moment, Biphosphorus was worried that after the 2 worlds merge, their square Cave Heaven and Paradise would be squeezed out of the void. Due to the fusion of the 2 realms, various regions in time and space are dislocated, and countless spatial turbulence circulates outside the Dongtian formation. Hydra saw Biphosphorus worry, patted his shoulder, and said with a smile, "Look, that guy Long Xuanji isn't in a hurry, so we don't have to be in a hurry. He has already broken through to the immortal level. There are 3 great immortals here, so it's no big deal." And he said that he sensed the world he was in. "Maybe we can meet Lord 7 Stars when we get there." Advertisement, I hope so. At this moment, only Long Xuanji looked solemn. He had only reached the immortal level and had reawakened many memories, and also knew some secrets of this dimensional universe. The world I am in now is just a dimensional universe composed of countless high-level worlds. Although there are many strong people in this universe, they are too weak compared to the world in my previous life. And the world in my previous life was only middle to lower in the universe. But just now, the moment Long Xuanji broke through to the immortal level, he clearly sensed the barrier of the world he lived in his previous life. It's so close. This had to worry him, because even a god-level powerhouse only had mid-level combat power in that world, and only those above the god level were worthy of having their own power. His current strength at the early stage of immortal level is not even cannon fodder. At this moment, Long Xuanji is in a serious mood. He doesn't know what is happening in the outside world, because the sudden closure of the cave formation indicates that something big is going to happen. He can only wait. I hope his luck will not be too bad. At the same time, the huge hole in the Pure Land world where Qixing is located has been repaired. It is obvious that the integration of the 2 worlds has reached the final moment. Qixing's body flashed and exceeded 1,000 times the speed of sound. In just a few minutes, he arrived outside the Pure Land world. In the void outside the territory. From here, you can clearly see that 2 behemoths that should be far apart are quickly merging together. At this moment, Qixing was watching the new world in front of him. Suddenly, out of the corner of his eye, he saw several extremely shining lights thousands of kilometers away, flying rapidly towards the south. Although those streams of light did not show any aura, judging from the speed of the streamers, Qixing's strength was definitely 100 times stronger than his. Moreover, Qixing calculated based on Shinigami's memory that the south was the ancestral star of the Otsutsuki clan. Could it be that something happened to the Otsutsuki clan? Where have so many strong men gone? System, detect the strength and direction of the few streams of light just now. Ding. The system is being tested. Close black lens bracket, ding. The 4 targets are all at the peak of the upper gods. Close black lens bracket. Ding. It has been detected that the south is the ancestral star of the Otsutsuki clan. There is an aura that is very close to the main god on it, but it cannot be broken through due to the level restrictions of the dimensional world. At this moment, the power of all living planets is being accumulated to forcibly break the space barrier, allowing this dimensional world to descend into the world. Close black lens bracket. System, didn't you say that the world is far away from here? Ding. It's really far away, but if someone forcibly breaks through to the realm of the Lord God, the Great Thousand World will descend to receive the guiding divine light. At that time, there will be a specific location in the Great Thousand World, and those who are led can enter it at any time. Close black lens bracket. Can this be broken through forcefully? Chapter 290 The appearance of 4 high-level gods. Open black lens bracket certainly. Close black lens bracket. Based on the information obtained by the host, the system deduced that the Otsutsuki divine style probably used the power of cause and effect to seal the common power of the 3 reincarnations, and then made a breakthrough after unsealing it in this life. His strength reached the level of a high-level god in all 3 lives. After understanding 3 different rules, and now integrating the 3 rules with the power of 3 generations, the strength can at least reach the limit of a high-level god. At the same time, with the help of the faith of the life planets of all dimensions, he forcibly breaks through the limits. Close black lens bracket. Even the top of this dimensional world can only reach the limit of a higher god. But as long as the world senses the power beyond the superior gods, it will inevitably lower the passage. When the time comes, he will break through the realm and pull the dimensional world into the cosmic world. His merits will be immeasurable, and no one can stop him from breaking through the next level. By then, his strength would have broken through from the limit of a high-ranking god to a main god, and then to a god king. In this way, he also has a place in the world. Close black lens bracket, but he calculated this way. If there is a mistake in one link, or if the world does not receive the light of guidance, then all his efforts will not be wasted. Ding. The system calculates the results. 80% of the divine plan will be successful, because what he did happened to be consistent with the will of the dimensional world. The will of the dimensional world will communicate with the world and send down divine light. Close black lens bracket. Damn. This is something only a child of destiny can do. Then if I want to get this opportunity, there is no chance at all. When the system heard Qixing's words, it was silent for a long time before slowly replying. It's not that there is no chance. If I rely on you, it's basically impossible to do it. Even I want to get that merit, but this time the risk is huge and the system level is too low, even though I am created by the creator. But it does not have the ability to create things from the void, and it also requires huge energy to do so. Close black lens bracket. Well, this is the first time I heard about the realm of the creator. I want to know what kind of existence it is. Oh, the creator is the most powerful person in the universe. After the superior gods are the main gods, and above the main gods are the divine kings, divine emperors, and divine emperors. Above the god emperor is the creator. Close black lens bracket. The level of the creator may not even exist in the universe. The system information shows that 10,000 yuanhui have passed and no creator has been born yet. Are you created by the creator to help me become the creator? Host, stop dreaming. The top priority is to improve your strength in order to get more benefits. Close black lens bracket. Don't think about anything now. The two worlds have almost merged. The new planet is about to evolve. The merits will fall after a while. Now enter the world. Receiving a large amount of merit, this world can already break through to the lower gods. Close black lens bracket. As long as you break through to the lower gods, the 6 stages of changes in your bloodline power can increase your combat effectiveness to the peak of the upper gods. At that time, you will have the opportunity to take advantage of the great merits descended from this world. Close black lens bracket. Advertisement. Hearing this, Qixing fell silent. On the other side, the 4 rapidly flying streams of light also sensed the movement caused by the fusion of the 2 planets on the 7 stars side. But the benefits brought by these things are basically better than nothing for strong people like them. Not even enough to fill their teeth. Several people did not stop at all, but kept staring ahead. One of them said, this time, his divine form cannot take advantage of this merit. Another person was a little confused. Why, if he can't do it even with his strength, then we are even less likely to benefit. Is there another strong person who will stop him? The other 2 old men chuckled and said, you have only been promoted to a higher god within the past 100 years. You have not yet reached the top of this realm, and you still don't understand many secrets. With such huge merits, do you think the people in the Great Thousand World are fools? Although they will not stop the divine shift from pulling the dimensional world into the Great Thousand World to gain merits. But after the divine shift succeeds, they will snatch the huge merits for themselves. You have to know that benefits move people's hearts. But when the divine breakthrough is not infected by all magic, it can last for at least half an hour. By then, the merit has already fallen to him. Even if someone robs him, it will be too late. Haha, you are wrong. Have you forgotten what happened after he broke through? A new Lord God is coveted by many people. What's more, he also has a lot of merits from the world. Although the strong ones above the Lord God can't come down to this dimensional world, but a strong man at the peak of the upper gods will swamp the gods like ants. No matter how strong he is, he still needs helpers. We just need to stand behind him and put the icing on the cake, and he will give us a piece of merit for free. Ha ha ha. Ming Lao is really a master of magic. I admire him. Let's go. The guy in the divine style only prepared 10,000 years. As of today, his foundation has been perfected. His talent can be said to be terrifying. Let's go quickly. If there is a misunderstanding, even if the 4 of us, if you attack at the same time, you may not be his opponent. The 3 of them were silent after hearing this, and just raised the light as fast as possible, heading south. At this moment, all the elders and clan members gathered on the ancestral star of the Otsutsuki clan. The crowd surrounded the young man in front of them. Their faces were full of disbelief, and some people were holding a portrait in their hands to compare with the young people in front of them. They couldn't believe that their ancestors, the people from 10,000 years ago, would appear in front of them with such an appearance. The young man waved his hand indifferently, and 5 colored halos of power hit the 5 elders. In an instant, the 5 elders seemed to have awakened some sealed memory, and their eyes shone. Kneeling on the ground with both legs, he shouted 5 times in unison, disciples from the 5 directions have met our ancestor. Congratulations to our ancestor for his great achievement in magical power, and welcome him out of seclusion. Chapter 291. The Merit Falls. When the other disciples saw the 5 strongest elders in their clan, they all knelt down to the young man in front of them. Although they felt a little dissatisfied or lucky, they also knelt down and did not dare to disobey. At this moment, God spoke. How is the mission assigned to you going? The 5 people looked at each other, and one of the old men said, Ancestor, 13 of the 32 transcendent geniuses we trained back then have disappeared from our perception, and have sent spies to explore the planets they captured. The rule of the surrounding planets has basically been completed. However, it is just a change of controller, and the strength is not more than the transcendence level. Among the other 19 people, 3 died within the past 10 years, and 1 died within a week. Of the remaining 15, 4 have reached the realm of lower gods, and 11 are hovering at the peak of transcendence. As long as those who are still alive have been driven by us to control more planets, we have prepared for 10,000 years. There are only a few planets in this dimensional world, and their positions are erratic and difficult to control. There are also several big stars. There are several terrifying barriers in the domain, and we cannot enter them at all. The rest of the known planets are all in our hands. Not bad. You did a good job. How are you collecting the fruits of the sacred tree? Ancestor, the 999 fruits have been collected. You can use the power at any time. Very good. You have lived up to my expectations. After saying that, he flicked his hands with a divine gesture, and 5 rays of blue light shot into the bodies of the 5 people. The 5 people only felt that the shackles in their bodies were broken, their strength began to surge, and the power of their blood surged. The next moment, the realm broke through to the lower gods without any warning, and this terrifying increase in power was not completely over. The 5 people only felt that the world was becoming more and more consistent with their bodies at this moment, and then the bones in their bodies exploded. As soon as there was a sound, the old bodies of the 5 people began to lose their old skin and were slowly becoming younger. The rest of the tribe were shocked when they saw their elders changing like this. Is this the rejuvenation technique? This is the terrifying power of our ancestors. I thought my Otsutsuki clan had no gods. This. At this moment, all the members of the Otsutsuki clan began to kneel down and worship God. They finally saw the power of their ancestors, and they believed more in what the family had always said. The day when their ancestors awakened was also the day when the Otsutsuki clan ascended. I thought this sentence was just a joke, but I didn't expect that the ancestor really had such strength. At this time, all the Otsutsuki clan fell into joy. As for Qixing, he also knows that if he doesn't have the strength, no matter how good the opportunity is, he will make wedding clothes for others. Now we can only improve our strength first. Thinking of this, Qixing no longer hesitated. Immediately, he no longer paid attention to the south, but his body flashed and his speed reached ultimate, and he was already in this newly merged planet. The 7 stars renamed this newly integrated world the New Ninja World. At this moment, the earth of the New Ninja World is still churning, and mountains and rivers are constantly breaking out of the ground. As time passed, the shaken New World returned to calm, but the white mist also enveloped the entire New World at an extremely fast speed. Advertisement at this moment, the visibility of people in the New Ninja World is less than 10 meters. Everyone is on guard in all directions. Because for some reason at this moment, a strange energy surged from all directions, cover people. When people look up, they can only see countless streams of light falling from all directions in the mist of the sky. The stream of light falls on the earth, and it turns out to be a majestic force of life. Countless buds suddenly appeared on the already bare ground, and then the buds began to grow wildly. In just a few breaths, those buds grew into towering trees. The originally bare land of the entire New Ninja World has been invaded by huge ancient trees. Only in the 5 major enchantments, trees grow slowly. People can still survive normally. Suddenly a loud voice resounded throughout the world. You guys come here. Kagaya-ji and others were startled when they heard this. It's Master Qixing. He's over there. Let's go. Then several people flew up and headed in the direction of 7 stars. A few minutes later, a few people came to an empty ground. There was no white thick fog within a radius of 3,000 meters. When Qixing saw all his capable men arriving, he casually left his inner world. Among them, 10 tails manifested in front of a few people for the first time. At this time, 10 tails is almost reaching maturity. The Corpse King at the peak of the immortal level and the Ant King at the peak of the immortal level were all wary when they saw someone approaching. At the same time, there was a lot of sweat on their foreheads, and they said in a trembling voice, "My respected master, when did you provoke so many people?" The strong man is dead now. But the people in front of them didn't take action. The Ant King also had some doubts in his heart. Turning to look at his master, he saw Qixing's unconcerned look, as if he was confident of winning. The Ant King could only admire him in his heart. My master, the Ant King, is so awesome. Even with so many strong men looking around, he still looks calm and calm. At this moment, Qixing didn't know what his subordinates were thinking about Xiao Juju, but when he saw that Long Xuanji, Da Shi, and Biphosphorus hadn't arrived yet, he frowned. He asked the people around him, "What's going on? No one from Tianshou sect has arrived yet." "Here, sir, when we came, the landform had changed too much. We have been to several similar places, but we did not find the existence of Tianshou Gate." Then Qixing counted his fingers in front of his subordinates. In fact, it is system tracking. Hey, it's not in this dimensional world anymore. Could it be that when the 2 worlds merged, they were squeezed into other dimensional worlds? Just as Qixing was thinking, a muffled thunder sounded in the sky. Qixing looked up and saw that 10,000 meters above, this side of Tiandao had been inlaid with gold. It was obvious that the merits had fallen and were accepted by Tiandao. Now it was time for Tiandao to fulfill its promise. Forget it, don't wait any longer. Everyone, sit cross-legged and receive your rewards. Chapter 292 Entering the Lower Gods in All Directions. When several people heard about the reward, they knew that this must be the benefit Lord Qixing mentioned. Then he sat cross-legged without hesitation and began to use the power in his body. And the 7 stars stood in the center, under the gold-rimmed clouds. Open your hands slightly. One after another, auspicious clouds of merit turned into golden raindrops, falling from the sky, covering the area of kilometers. It fell on several people. At the same time, a thick golden light pillar suddenly rushed out from the golden auspicious cloud. The light pillar was as thick as a bucket and directly wrapped the 7 stars. Qixing felt extremely comfortable at this moment, and with a different kind of pleasure, Qixing almost moaned. Just 3 minutes after the golden merits continued to fall, Hokage and others who were summoned by the 7 stars unexpectedly made breakthroughs at this moment. Waves of whirlwinds continued to swirl around the people. Golden raindrops were picked up by the whirlwind around the people and poured in from the tops of their heads. Waves of terrifying aura continued to spread around several people, stronger. Several people were inexplicably excited. Constantly rely on the power of merit to improve your strength. After the golden raindrops became smaller and smaller, everyone improved to at least 2 realms. The lowest realms of immortals have all broken through their own shackles and reached the 2nd level of transcendence. Those who were already in the realm of transcendence have reached the limit of the realm of transcendence. Amidst the joy, the most unexpected thing is the symbiosis of Dadung Mujili and Kagayaheim. After thinking again and again, Kagaya finally agreed to completely merge her soul with Otsutsuki. Although Kagayaheim will suffer a lot in this way, after all, his soul is intact, and if his talent wants to be resurrected and he finds another body, Qixing will definitely find it for her. But he also knew that if she left Jia Li's physical body, it would take her who knows how many years to reach the realm of a lower god. Without this realm, she would not be able to help Qixing at all. So after careful consideration, I still agreed to integrate perfectly with Jia Li, and Jia Li was resurrected in the true sense. The moment when the 2 people completely merge into one. A terrifying aura from the lower gods blew the surrounding white mist tens of thousands of meters away. Everyone who was still in a stable cultivation level looked up in shock and looked at Kagaya who was slowly floating in the air. They no longer knew how to express their joy. Several people knelt down on one knee and said, "I have met Lady Kagaya." Kagaya heard several people calling her, landed lightly, nodded and said, "From today on, my name is Kagaya Li. You can just call me Li Shen." After saying that, Kagaya Li removed the terrifying aura around her. He actually took control of the power within his body in such a short period of time. After everyone thought about it carefully, they realized that it was right. After all, Master Li Shen was originally a god, but it was only after his soul was broken and his body was damaged that he could not break through. Everyone was just shocked by Kagaya's breakthrough, but they didn't expect that this guy Shadow Kill would also usher in his spring. I saw Shadow Killer holding a green pill and gently put it into his mouth. This is the divine power pill given by Qixing. Originally, even if Shadow Kill took this pill, he would only be able to break through to the false god. With his talent like this, the divine realm is a hurdle, and it is destined that he will not be able to make any major breakthroughs. Advertisement. But after this massive amount of merit fell, he was able to break through to the realm of lower gods without any warning at all. This makes Yang Sha excited. It turns out that the power of merit is so powerful. Feeling the surge of power in his body, and a circular black light flickering behind his back, Yang Sha knew that his spring had come. Immediately, regardless of the attention of everyone, he sucked the surrounding merits into his belly in one gulp, then suspended in the air and sat cross-legged. The terrifying aura slowly subsided. Everyone could only look at Yang Sha and Kagaya with envy. I wish I could break through to a lower god now. But unfortunately, the 7-star reward has ended, and everyone can only drool while looking at the golden beam of light wrapping the 7-star. Now look at the 7 stars. The golden beam of light falling from the clouds in the sky has thinned into a streak of lightning, but Qixing has not been able to successfully break through at this moment. I just saw his closed eyes, beating slightly, as if he had encountered some difficulty. However, after immeasurable merit is poured into Qixing's body, it is not only improving Qixing's realm, but also strengthening Qixing's body and stabilizing his newly broken through soul. Although there are many merits, there are also many things that need to be strengthened. At this moment, Qixing wants to gain full access to the lower gods, soul, body, and blood. Deep in Qixing's mind, good news came out from the system from time to time. Ding! Congratulations host, your Saiyan bloodline development rate has reached 53%, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations host, your Saiyan bloodline development rate has reached 55%, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations host, your Saiyan bloodline development rate has reached 58%, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations host, your basic realm has been upgraded to the lower divine realm, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations host, your soul realm has been upgraded to the mid-level god realm, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations host, your Saiyan bloodline development rate has reached 60%. You can turn on the 6th phase of the super race change, super red change, close black lens bracket. Ding! Congratulations to host, your strength has been improved in all aspects. The system has detected host. In this dimensional world, as long as you don't commit suicide, there is no threat of death, close black lens bracket. At the same time, the system enters a self-evolution state, and the duration is determined by the energy provided by the host. If this evolution is successful, the host will get a chance to advance across ranks. Please take good care of the host. Close black lens bracket. 10 minutes countdown to system evolution, 9 minutes and 58 seconds. Seeing this, Qixing was extremely surprised, but also a little worried. I don't know what the system will be after it evolves, and what exactly the system elf in my mind is. Why is the world of my sea of consciousness prosperous? These are all unknown. Now the system evolution, according to him, requires a lot of energy to evolve. This large amount is a bit intriguing. Chapter 293. Congratulations on entering the god level. But this is not the time to think about that. At this moment, my basic strength has fully entered the realm of lower gods. Coupled with the 6th stage transformation of the Super Saiyan, I should be able to compete with the strong men in the Master God realm. Now that the strength has reached this point, let's put aside the system in advance, and it's time to plan something good like the god Otsutsuki. Thinking of this, Qixing opened his eyes and looked at the people around him. Everyone saw a golden light shooting out of Qixing's eyes, which slowly dissipated after being 10 meters away from him. Everyone was just surprised. The strength of Lord 7 Stars has improved again. But why didn't he show any momentum? I don't know how strong Lord 7 Stars is now. Only Kagaya Lee and Yang Sha had strange eyes. The strength of this little monster has surpassed that of us who have practiced cultivation for thousands of years. It is really incredible. Seeing that his bone age is less than 30, what kind of monster is this? A cultivated little monster. Qixing ignored the others and didn't know what they were thinking at the moment. He just looked at Kagaya Ji deeply and said, Master Kagaya, you have completely merged with Jia Li. Did he force you? Thinking of this, Qixing, who was not sure why, directly released the ancient power in his body. At this moment, everyone present, including Shadow Shah and Kagaya Li, were a little frightened. I'm afraid this is more than just a lower god, right? In an instant, everyone was suppressed by Qixing's momentum and fell to the ground. Qixing angrily asked the doubts in his heart, Jia Li, did you force her? Kagaya raised her head, feeling no grievance at all, only happy, because Qixing at this moment was asking for an explanation for another him, and she had a feeling in her heart that it was all worth it. Kagaya slowly said, no one of them forced anyone, they all volunteered. Both of them had things they had not completed or wanted to protect, so they decided to merge, and finally a new me was born. The current me is a combination of them, and with their mission, I will become stronger and stronger. Use your strength to protect what you want to protect. Hearing this, Qixing sighed, lost his terrifying aura, and said gently, you know very well that after my matter is resolved, I will find a new body for you, maybe stronger than this one. Kagaya Lee just chuckled after hearing this. I believe you can do it, but compared to other bodies, I think this body is more in line with our soul power. Moreover, this is also Kagaya Ji's opportunity. Without fusion, I don't know how many years it will take before I can get this strength to protect you. Hearing Kagaya Lee say this, Qixing was a little touched, although he knew this was the result. After a long silence, Qixing waved and said, okay, I understand. Since this is your mutual choice, I believe you. Shadow Killer, Kagaya Lee, congratulations on entering the god level. And none of you let me down. Wu Tian, Transcendence level 9. Zhan Ji, Transcendence level 9. Wushang, Transcendence level 9. Linglong, Transcendence level 9. Man Niu, Transcendence level 6. Fat Tiger, Transcendence level 5 level. Corpse King, 2nd level of Transcendence. Ant King, 2nd level of Transcendence. Advertisement, it's all very good, but 10 Tails, how did you transcend the 1st level? Is this the only strength you can achieve at maturity? Hearing Qixing's words, 10 Tails felt aggrieved like a child, and said with a loud voice, I was not meant to fight. My mission is to absorb nutrients from other planets to support other people. I am a transcendent god. Tree, every fruit I produce can successfully elevate a transcendent being to 1 to 3 realms. Of course, each person can only use one. Hearing 10 Tails' words, Qixing suddenly understood. This guy is definitely a super assistant. Very good. You are all very good. You have lived up to my expectations. It's a pity that Orochi and the others are not here. This is also their fate. What you are going to do next may be even more dangerous. The new ninja world under my feet has been successfully promoted to a high-level world after fusion. Each high-level world is exposed and cannot be hidden. There will be many strong men from the middle-level world coming to seize control of this high-level world. Your mission is to protect this place and defeat those who want to invade our homeland. From now on, this place is our root. Everyone was excited and shouted in unison, yes, Master Qixing. Shadow Killer, your concealment ability is very strong. I leave the surveillance and vigilance of this world to you. Kagaya Lee, you sit in the center and cooperate with Shadow Killer. At the same time, you are familiar with 10 Tails. How to use it, I think you are more familiar with it. You have the right to speak. Your descendants also need your support. Yes, Master Qixing. The rest of you can start setting up restrictions in this world. This new ninja world will be left to you. But sir, what should we do if a higher god comes? Yes, sir. No need to worry, those guys are not in the mood to play house with you. They will definitely not miss another man-made opportunity. As the words fell, Qixing's figure also disappeared without a trace. Why do I feel that Master Qixing is becoming more and more mysterious? Oh, your lord is heaven-defying, and your strength is as strong as yours. If we were not his subordinates, we might not even be qualified to see him. Let's go. Everyone performs their duties. After Yingxia's words fell, his figure also disappeared. Everyone was left looking up at the sky. The auspicious clouds covering the sky slowly dissipated, and the surrounding dense fog also slowly disappeared. Kagaya Li casually threw out a stream of light and submerged it into Ten Tails' body. The next moment, Ten Tails turned into a small turtle and was put into Kagaya Li's sleeves. Several people turned into streams of light and scattered in all directions. Chapter 294 The Power of God. Next, a fierce battle may be waiting for them. At the same time, after learning that 70% of the living planets in this dimensional world have been brought under his control, Otsutsuki Shinshi became more confident in this plan. At this moment, Shen Shi looked at the group of people in front of him and could no longer remember these unfamiliar faces. He waved his hand, signaling everyone to step back and do their own thing. The 5 rejuvenated middle-aged men in front of them were following the god's gestures, looking like they were trying to please. Shen Shi said, "Now that you have recovered your strength and opened that part of your memory, you now understand what you did and why. I don't need to say more about the content of the plan. You should also know it very well. How are you preparing to activate the energy that runs through this dimensional world formation?" Reporting to the ancestor, the energy crystals have been mined long ago, and everything is ready, just waiting for the ancestor to return. Kindness. Go ahead, activate the 10,000 stars formation, connect all the planets in this dimensional world, and I will lead you to ascend. The 5 of them were excited when they heard that the formation was about to be activated. They soared. This was something that the ancestor had planned for 10,000 years, and they must not mess it up. They simply flew up. At the same time, they took out a large amount of energy from their own space. The energy crystal was waved into the void behind him. From this moment on, all the void in this dimensional world was lit up by a strange glimmer of light. If someone can fly into the void, they will find that there seems to be a big net covering this dimensional world. At the same time, all the planets began to vibrate slightly, and the most obvious vibration was on the ancestral star where Otsutsuki's divine form was located. At this moment, Otsutsuki's divine form dispersed everyone, and he stood alone above this ancestral star that existed for tens of billions of years. He raised his head at a 45-degree angle and looked into the distance, muttering in his mouth, 10,000 years have passed by in a flash. I have calculated everything, and it seems that what is supposed to come has come. Come out. You old immortals have been living in this dimension for tens of 10,000 years. Why aren't you ready to give it a try? Hearing what Otsutsuki Kamishi said, the 4 people hiding in the void appeared one after another. At the same time, he laughed, as expected of you, Shenshi. I didn't expect you to decide to take this step so quickly. I thought you needed to prepare for about 10,000 years. After all, the resources in this dimensional world are not enough for you to fully activate the formation. Indeed. So you came here with honesty, right? Have you already thought about giving all the energy crystals to me? We do have this idea, but it depends on how much benefit you can give us. A successful virtue. Advertisement. When the 4 of them heard this, they all laughed. Shenshi, the 4 of us only shared 4 of your merits, and you only got 6. Don't you think your appearance is ugly? Standing in the void, Shenzi swept the corners of his clothes that were blown by the breeze, and said slowly, "No, you misunderstood. What I said is that the 4 of you can only get 1 share of merit, and I alone get 90%. The 4 of them thought they heard wrongly and confirmed again, Shenshi, are you joking with us? The 4 people saw Shenshi and ignored him, and said angrily at the same time, are you trying to insult us who are weaker than you? As long as the 4 of us attack at the same time, you may not be able to escape unscathed. Don't make a mistake, Shenshi. Well, okay, I'll give you 2 choices, either hand over all the energy crystals in your body, or die here. You choose one. You go too far to deceive others. Come on, he has just awakened. Even if he has the fighting power of a high-level god, he may not be able to stop him as long as the 4 of us attack at the same time." As he spoke, the old man standing in the middle waved his hand, and a dark green trident was held in his hand. Green light swirled on the tip of the halberd, and a dark green halberd light came out. The old man followed the halberd light, preparing to give the divine style a fatal blow. After the other 3 people looked at each other, they gathered powerful rules in their hands and prepared to attack the divine form. But before the 3 men could attack, the old man who had just flown out, together with his dark green trident, flew back faster than when he flew out. The 3 of them only saw an afterimage passing by, and a thin layer of cold sweat suddenly appeared on their backs. The 3 of them felt that there was a planet pressing on their heads, making them unable to breathe. But Shenshi was still standing in the same position, and several people didn't even see clearly whether Shenshi made a move. But the old man who took the lead was indeed hit hard by some kind of force. Flying back. I didn't even see the guy's movements clearly. Did he really take action? Or maybe we lost before he even took action. Has he already broken through his own shackles and reached that level? The more they thought about it, the more frightened they became. The clothes on their backs were already wet. At this moment, the 3 of them were quite frightened. But how could the severely injured old man be willing to do so? Although he spit out a mouthful of blood 10 meters away, he still roared angrily. He still didn't take action. Several people also had their arrows on the string and had no choice but to take action. The special attack formed by the powerful power of rules in his hand directly hit the divine form, but the divine form was calm, as if he was not aware of it. Several people had no reaction when they saw the divine form. They felt that the divine form was so powerful that they immediately let go of their worries. When the three attacks were about to approach the divine form just flicked the void a few times. The attack formed by those three rules was instantly bounced back by some kind of force. That speed was more than 10 times faster than when it took off. The three of them only had time to cover their chests with their hands when they heard three soft popping sounds. 3 mouthfuls of old blood spit out 100 meters at the same time, and the three figures also flew backwards for several thousand meters before stopping. Shenshi didn't even look at the three of them, but said disdainfully, "You are so ignorant that you came to my territory to seek benefits. The formation has been activated, and the amplitude of my strength is at least 10 times greater. You are really stupid." Chapter 295 An existence that cannot even be deduced from the divine form. After saying this, Shenshi raised his hand and fiddled with something in the void. The youngest one among them, seeing Shenshi's action, guessed that Shenshi wanted to kill someone and seize the treasure. Not daring to make unnecessary moves, he quickly took out the energy crystals from his body. Following the man's movements, the energy crystals were pushed and pushed. He also said somewhat flatteringly, "Master Shenshi, don't do anything. As soon as you achieve virtue, I will give you the spar." The three people beside them were vomiting blood and looking at the divine form in front of them, showing a little timidity. They knew they would lose, but they didn't expect that they would lose so tragically. At this moment, he also joined the ranks of taking out the crystal stones. At this moment, the crystals that the four people took out have formed a high mountain in the void. The god did not even look at the four of them. He just waved his hand and poured all the energy in the energy crystals into the void instantly. At this time, the void became bluer, and the crystals turned into powder and fell onto the ancestral star. After the four of them had done all this, they didn't dare to take a breath, for fear that Shenshi would continue to take action against them and others. But after waiting for a while, they discovered that Shenshi didn't pay attention to them at all. At this moment, the four people began to whisper, and one of them said, "Master Ao, if that guy is really so strong, why did he give us a successful virtue? You have just been promoted to a high-ranking god, but you need to learn more from us old guys. Be careful and don't lose an inch first." "Yes, Master Ao. But you see that guy seems to be fiddling with something in the void, and his expression is extremely serious. Could it be that that guy is going to start so soon?" "It's impossible. Do you think it's so easy to connect all the planets in this dimension? Let's not talk about whether the will of all the planets can receive the messages from this array. Even if it can, it will take time to react, and there will be no there existences like middle gods or lower gods on the young planet. If they learn about this guy's plan, they will definitely come to get a share of the pie. Just watch, maybe he discovered something." After the words fell, Shenshi opened his eyes and smiled. "Are you here? Then come out." At this moment, the sound wave of the divine style penetrated the eardrums, and dozens of figures appeared in the void in all directions. With the interference of the divine style sound wave, the figures gradually appeared. Among these people was the Demon King, who was born with 2 horns, a ferocious face, and a fierce spirit. An angel with 2 wings on his back and a shining light that fills the sky above his head, illuminating the earth. There is a terrifying giant sword hanging above his head, and the sword is dripping with infinite laws, the King of Swords. There is a beast master who rides a terrifying giant beast with overwhelming power. He even wears armor and has the terrifying power of the sun, moon and stars behind him. In short, there are 17 powerful people appearing at this moment, but none of these 17 people have the strength to reach the late stage of the middle god. There are 70% high-ranking gods and even those at the peak of the upper-ranking gods. It can be imagined that this time the divine form used the 10,000 stars formation to link all the planets, which seemed to alarm all the powerful life forms in this dimension. Advertisement at this moment, 17 people surrounded Shenshi. Shenshi didn't even look at these existences. He just quietly fiddled with the void and frowned, as if these people were not the people he wanted to wait for. The 17 people who saw the divine form didn't pay attention to themselves and others at all, and were still minding their own business in the void, and suddenly became angry. The Beastmaster who was riding the giant beast patted the dark giant beast that looked like Godzilla under his seat. The giant beast seemed to sense something, and shot a thick lava laser towards the god's style quickly. Some people saw that there was no reaction to the divine gesture and stood there motionless. They couldn't help but chuckle, "Is this guy stupid? That guy's Gotabmon is a giant beast at the peak of the gods. If it is hit by that lava laser, it will definitely be burned to ashes." But before the man could laugh, the lava laser dared to turn around at the moment when it was about to hit the divine form, and retreated 10 times faster than when it came. This giant Gotha beast had no time to react before its head was pierced by its own lava laser, and it died on the spot. The Beastmaster sitting on top of it was clever and did not know how to escape. Although the Beastmaster was angry at this moment, he did not dare to act rashly again. This time, these powerful life forms were so frightened that they all took a few steps back. Because the divine form didn't even move, it rebounded the guy's attack and instantly killed a strong man at the peak of the upper gods. Who would dare to show off in front of the divine form? But Shenshi was still the same as before. He didn't know what he was looking for, he kept fiddling with the void, and there seemed to be something there, which made Shenshi a little afraid. And at this moment, Qixing, who was hiding in the void, saw that the divine form was completely in control of the formation, but he did not immediately release his opportunity to be promoted. When he became curious, he was ready to release an opportunity to see what that guy was doing. Just when this opportunity appeared, Shen Shi opened his eyes in an instant, and a sharp sword-like sword in his eyes rushed directly towards the hidden space of Qixing. Qixing had already been prepared. He raised the dimensional blade in his hand and slashed out a sword, which collided with the sword-shaped sword in the god's eyes and instantly chopped the sword into pieces. However, the sword was still moving forward rapidly, as fast as ultimate, just in the blink of an eye. With such effort, the blade light was completely miraculous. Instead of returning, it hit the invisible shield wall in front of the god. Shen Shi frowned slightly, and at the same time Qixing also showed his figure. Shen Shi looked at Qixing curiously, then was stunned. This guy is completely impossible to deduce. How is it possible? And the energy emanating from him is obviously just a lower god. Why can't I find this kind of existence? What's even more terrifying is how can this lowly god give me a sense of danger when facing the main god? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. After saying this, he moved his hands faster in the void, and a bright yellow river appeared in the void. Even so, he couldn't find any information about the guy in front of him. Impossible. How is this possible? Chapter 296 God's War. Even this thing can't trace any information about you. Who are you? Don't you belong to the dimensional world? Hearing this, Qixing was shocked, and then he reacted and looked at Shenshi with a smile. Road. Otsutsuki God's style, it's better to meet than to be famous. Hello, my name is Uchiha Qixing. After saying this, Qixing held the dimensional blade in a sword flower and put it behind his back. Kamishiki was stunned again when he heard Nanahoshi say his last name, Uchiha. Is this a new family? As Kamishiki said, his hands were twirling in the void again. Uchiha, Uchiha. God-like movements seemed to be rummaging through the void for all the information about this surname. At this time, Qixing also activated the 9 Magatama Rinnegan. The next moment, Qixing clearly discovered that what he was fiddling with the divine technique was actually the destiny of this dimension. Depend on, Qixing was shocked. This guy has not yet succeeded in bringing this dimension into the world, but he has obtained such terrifying world authority in this dimension. What agreement has he reached with this dimension? And when Kamishiki fiddled with the fate for a few minutes, he was surprised to find that this guy had many causal connections with the Otsutsuki clan. Kagaya Haim, Jia Li, Jin Shiki, Ashiki, and even himself were all causally involved with him. Judgment. After receiving this result, Shen Shi was no longer as calm as before. His eyes widened. You are actually a descendant of my Otsutsuki clan. And you were promoted to a lower god at the age of less than 30. How did you do it? Obviously he didn't believe that an ordinary creature could accomplish this feat. Even, in the long river of fate, his past and future cannot be seen. Qixing did not answer, but the strong men who came here just now were not calm anymore. Nima, what did that guy just say? He said that this kid is less than 30, and his strength has reached the level of a lower god. How is it possible? Even if it takes 300 years to reach a lower god, there are only a handful of people in the dimensional world in this regard. Those geniuses are countless. It is not a powerful existence that ascends by virtue of its own strength. This kid is less than 30, but he's already a god. Who the hell is he trying to fool? No one present believed what Shen Shi said, but Shen Shi himself was extremely serious. He knew that this boy was extraordinary, and he could put pressure on himself even if he was less than 30. At this moment, the god showed his strength for the first time. What he exuded was not the aura of a high-ranking god in the later stage at all, but an aura comparable to that of the main god. Advertisement. Everyone was stunned on the spot. Even Qixing was a little stunned. Didn't you say that Yuan realm can't break through to the Lord God this time? Why is the aura that guy is showing now, the Lord God realm? There is obviously no way to break through this realm here. At this moment everyone became quiet, but Qixing could only feel the aura from the divine form, which was pressing towards him step by step. From the 9 realms of transcendence, he quickly climbed to the lower god, the middle god, and the upper god. At this time, Qixing felt the sky above his head and the endless void. Squeeze yourself. With no time to think, Qixing could only use his trump card to transform into a super sailor. In just one breath, Qixing's hair changed into 5 colors, finally settling on dark blue, and his momentum has also reached the middle stage of the upper god. But as the divine momentum came to the main god realm, Qixing also used his last trump card, Taohong transformation. Qixing only felt that the blood in his body was burning. His own energy had reached saturation and even leaped out. In an instant, the original dark blue color was shrouded in terrifying pink. Even the eyes turned red. A roar came from Qixing's mouth, and the entire sky trembled at this roar. Even the terrifying momentum of the divine style pressing against Qixing was shaken away. The god was stunned. This is the power of blood. It is the power of a high-level blood in the world. No wonder your past and present lives are not in the fate of this Yuan realm. Is this your trump card? As soon as Shenshi finished speaking, Qixing's figure had already disappeared. Shenshi had already noticed it, and saw the energy in Shenshi's right hand blasting out to the left. Qixing also appeared on his left, with a bang, and Qixing's the fist directly hit the energy ball thrown by the god. There were 2 muffled bangs. The first sound was blasting through the energy ball, and the second sound was 7 stars pink fist, which directly hit the protective shield in front of the god. Not waiting for Shen Shi to be surprised, he punched hundreds of times in succession and was blasted out by Qixing in less than a second. There were tiny cracks in the energy shield in front of the divine form. Just when Qixing wanted to increase his strength to blast through the shield, the divine style finally took action. The right finger of the divine style was pointed out, and a galaxy evolved. It seemed that this finger brought the starry sky and pressed towards the 7 stars. Although Qixing was fast, he had no time to block, so he could only block with both hands in front of him. Everyone only saw the moment when Qixing touched the galaxy. His body seemed to fall back uncontrollably. In the end, the speed became faster and faster. In just a few breaths, Qixing's body hit the ancestral star, directly knocking the ancestral star away. Pierce through and rush out from the back of the ancestral star. Then a mouthful of blood spurted out for hundreds of meters, allowing Qixing to stabilize his body. It was also at this time that everyone heard the name of the move from Shen Shi's mouth, God's Destruction, one finger of the galaxy. When the people around saw the divine attack, they finally confirmed, this guy no longer exists in their realm. Although they knew that the divine form had such strength through the use of the 10,000 stars formation, it was obvious that they would not be able to have the fighting power of the main god even if it was increased by 100 times, let alone 10 times. They can't do this, which also shows that the strength of the god style is really only one step away from breaking through the main god. Everyone also gave up the idea of robbing merits and virtues openly. However, the matter was not over yet. Although Qixing vomited blood, this was only a minor injury to the Saiyan bloodline. Raising his hands to wipe the corners of his mouth, Qixing kicked his legs in the air and rushed directly into the hole in front of him. In less than 10 breaths, Qixing completely penetrated the ancestral star and stood in front of the divine form again. Chapter 297 It begins, boy. The ancestral star below, after being devastated by the 7 stars, was finally unable to withstand this terrifying power. The mountains and rivers began to collapse, and the seawater began to dissipate. The trees also began to wither. Seeing this, Shen Shi raised his hand and tapped the void a few times. An invisible barrier appeared, instantly covering the ancestral star. Then he raised his hand to summon the 5 elders of the Otsutsuki clan. You will suppress the ancestral star and repair it as soon as possible. Shen Shi did not blame Qixing for destroying the ancestral star, but looked at Qixing with gentle eyes. This sight made Qixing's whole body tremble. Sir, what do you want to do? Seeing the godlike eyes, Qixing didn't care so much, he just wanted to try to see if he could outdo a strong man in the main god realm. After saying that, the figure disappeared again, and he used the 100 times Kaio fist. Godly style only felt a terrifying giant behind Qixing, clenching his star-like fists and trying to hit him. Shen Shi knew that if the blow was not received, the boy would not be convinced. After thinking about it, he did not hide, but removed all the defensive barriers, as well as the barriers imposed on the body by the large formation. At this time, Qixing's 100 times Kaio fist also came to the divine form. I saw God standing in the void, raising his right hand. He held Nanahoshi's 100 times Kaio fist firmly. Everyone only heard a dull sound, and then saw the void behind the divine form quickly dissipating, and the endless turbulence of void manifested behind the divine form. A fist shadow tens of thousands of feet slowly dissipated behind the divine form. At this moment, Qixing's fist was clenched, unable to pull it out at all, and he was stunned in place. You easily caught my 100 times Kaio fist and dumped all the power into the void behind you. How could this happen? Shen Shi spoke slowly. When you understand the essence of power, you can do all this. I was able to break through to the realm of the Lord God more than 20,000 years ago. The reason why I didn't break through is because I know that even if I break through when he reaches the upper world, he is just a cannon fodder. 10,000 years ago, I didn't know whether I should move on or what the meaning of it all was. I thought hard and couldn't find the answer. Then I traveled to all the planets in this dimension with questions. Finally, I found a way to get the best of both worlds. Half of the Sanju Zongong, an ancient book that is so ancient that even fate cannot deduce its origin. I tried to practice it, and this technique perfectly suited my physique. The core secret of this technique is that 3 generations of practitioners have. Hearing this, Qixing was once again stunned. Third life fellow practitioner, how is that possible? You can't carry your memories with you every time you reincarnate. Ha ha ha, yes, so this is the deal between me and this dimensional world, and the condition of the deal is that I will bring the dimensional world into the world. Do you think he has a reason to refuse? It turns out that you have accumulated the power of 3 lifetimes. No wonder you still have such strong strength after removing all the support. It seems that even without this large formation, you can easily kill everyone here. But why do you want to tell me the secrets here? I can't think of a reason. Advertisement, ha 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 ha. To be honest, because this time the dimensional world has been brought into the world, the local strong people there will definitely not want to see anyone sharing their resources. I am not 100% sure that I can succeed, but seeing you finally, I know that it must be the will of the dimension that guided you to come. Since all the favorable conditions are on my side, I can't think of any reason for failure. It's just that I didn't expect that a descendant of my clan would have such a terrifying existence like you. No matter whose reincarnation you are, in this life, you are a descendant of my Otsutsuki clan. Oh, what if I don't want to help you? Haha, it's nothing more than profit. If you succeed, you may even have the opportunity to share 30% of the merits descended from the world. What if it fails? Not only will life and death disappear for you and me, Even this dimensional world will have all traces erased. How about it? Do you dare to take a gamble? How could Qixing refuse after hearing such an interesting thing? Okay, I promise you, but how much merit you can get depends entirely on your ability, okay? Hearing this, Shen Shi glanced at Qixing again in surprise. Ha 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 ha. Well, young people are very motivated. I only need enough merit to make my breakthrough. As long as you have the ability, I don't have any objection to you taking all the remaining merit. How about it? Ha 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 ha. After saying this, Shen Shi looked pointedly at the void in the distance, as if telling Qixing that there were still some mice hiding there. Qixing heard this and nodded. Seeing that the tone of everything had been set, Shen Shi waved his hand, and the 10,000 stars formation attached itself to him again. Everyone only saw Shen Shi holding a golden galaxy in his left hand, and holding the 10,000 stars formation in his right hand. The aura around him is getting stronger and stronger, more and more terrifying. It has already exceeded the limit of the realm of Lord God. Just hearing a bang, the sky began to explode for no reason, and the surrounding space began to collapse. This scene lasted for several minutes. Then, a ray of light seemed to leak out from the top of the endless void, shrouding the divine form. The light grew bigger and bigger, and in just a few breaths, it illuminated all the darkness and void in this dimension. All those who had nothing to do with it just felt a deep sense of oppression, as if something huge was about to appear. They all retreated thousands of miles away. At this moment, there was only Qixing beside Shenshi, standing as steady as a mountain in the void. It seemed that these broken spaces and strange brilliance could not cause harm to him at all. And Qixing's eyes and nine Magatama kept rotating, looking at the top of his head. Shenshi opened his mouth at this moment and said, "Boy, it's up to you now. The moment I pull this dimensional world into the vast world, there will be countless strong men in the divine realm who want to devour our dimensional world, and I will also choose to break through quickly the moment I enter the world. These all take time. I hope you can buy me 3 minutes. As long as I last 3 minutes, I will successfully break through the steps. Everything is done. Here we go, kid." Chapter 298 The World. As he said this, he looked up at the starry sky and shouted, "Open!" Immediately, the aura of the divine form suddenly rose again. The aura that originally had the realm of the main god was now higher and higher again. The terrifying aura was like countless sharp swords, piercing through the space barrier at this moment. Qixing was shocked. This guy actually used his own strength to break the space barrier between the dimensional world and the upper world. What kind of strength is this? Qixing couldn't get any answers because his system was naturally absorbing energy upgrades as slowly as possible. There was no system, and he had no intelligence on many unknown things. At this moment, Qixing looked at the sky with serious eyes. There were countless large and small holes in the endless void. These holes were expanding according to unknown rules. After becoming larger, they are linked to each other. Get bigger. As the divine aura formed a terrifying shadow, holding up the sky, the holes on the top of the head were connected one by one. At this moment, the sky was no longer filled with countless stars, as if a huge wellhead had been opened. Qixing could clearly see the other side, where there were new worlds formed by countless star belts. Could this be the universe? However, what Qixing doesn't know is that this is just a corner of the vast world, an extremely remote planetary belt, but even this remote area has countless stars and at least thousands of planets with life. Originally there was nothing but stars in the starry sky, but at the moment when the divine form began to break through, it seemed as if a huge curtain was lifted, and thousands of powerful divine beings swarmed out from behind the curtain. Everyone's aura is higher than that of the lower gods, and among the dozen or so people standing in the front row, the lowest are at the peak level of the upper gods. Only 3 of them have such terrifying auras, which are not much better than the current divine form. It is obvious that this is the real Master God Realm powerhouse. Qixing frowned slightly. 3 main gods. It's okay. There aren't many people, so I should be able to handle it. Just as Qixing looked at the 3 of them with firm eyes, the 3 people standing in the front glanced at each other and chuckled. It's really good luck. My sky-gazing mirror predicted it very accurately. It's right here. Ha 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 ha. I want 40% of Kangtian Sect's harvest this time. What do you two think? Ha, fat man. You think this is your Kangtian Sect's territory and you can cover the sky with one hand. Even your sect masters don't dare to have such a big appetite. If you dare to breathe so loudly, you won't be afraid of choking to death. Yan Laosan, don't talk nonsense. Mr. Zhe is here. Ask him what's wrong with my division, so that everyone can eat. HMPH, don't think I don't know that 50% of the little guys behind you are from Kangtian Sect, but you think I will be afraid. Okay, let's all calm down for a moment. This little fat guy is right. The master of Kangtian Sect is also an old friend of mine. He is on the verge of a breakthrough now. If he succeeds, then this 10% harvest will be my gift. His method of division is not overbearing. Kangtian Sect is 40%, nothing to complain about. After speaking, the old man looked deeply into the endless void. At this moment, Yan Laosan had no choice but to snort coldly. I do it for the sake of your sect leader. But I was lucky this time. This guy didn't have a protector, so he broke through with his own strength, and was able to take the entire lower realm to ascend to the Great Thousand World. The merits rewarded by the Great Thousand World will at least allow the 3 of us to take a step forward. Even there is a slight possibility of touching that realm. Advertisement. This guy is just here to deliver the gospel. The rest of the people cheered. Look, there are actually 10 high-level worlds in this dimensional world. Oh my god. We found a treasure this time. We've got it. The fat man smiled obscenely and said, hey, that's exactly what it is, which shows that there is a lot of oil and water this time. And there is only one person in this guy. Ha ha ha. Our group is indeed a bit aggressive. Ha 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 ha. These people were talking and laughing, completely ignoring the thin figure behind Shen Shi. Although Qixing is standing 10,000 meters behind the god style at this moment, Qixing has lost its transformation ability, and the strength displayed at this moment is only the aura of a low-level god in the middle and late stages. This kind of strength is simply useless in the eyes of the group of people in front of him. Only Zhe Lao said, no, there is a little guy behind him. That guy may be just a lure. There are a dozen high-level gods lurking behind him thousands of miles away. Oh, Mr. Zhe, you are saying that they are thousands of miles away. What do those guys want to do? Do they have time to support them, or do they want to pick up the slack? Another person laughed and said, stop joking, Mr. Zhe. Does being thousands of miles away count as a helper? When they come, I'm afraid we'll all be devoured. At the moment when everyone was talking, the divine breakthrough finally came to the last moment. Only the merits of the world fell, and he could successfully become a terrifying existence above the main god. The world seemed to sense the merits of the god, and a bucket of colorful light fell from the endless void, trying to cover the head of the god. When the three main gods saw this scene, they were very excited and said, coming. Although these merits cannot be intercepted directly, they can be sealed. At this time, each of the three people was holding a jar in their hands, and they casually pulled open the black cloth on the mouth of the jar, revealing the endless void and vast stars in the jar. The three people were making secrets in their hands and muttering strange words in their mouths. The jar automatically flew into the sky and began to absorb the colorful halo. The colorful merits, which were originally in the shape of a bucket, were instantly divided into four. Several people were ecstatic. Ha ha ha. This opportunity is really, click, bang, ding. The three of them are still imagining that after they get this opportunity, they will slowly absorb the merits and their strength will surely rise to the next level. In this vast world, they could finally become masters of human beings, but three sudden sounds brought the three people's thoughts back to reality. At this moment, the three people's eyes widened and they said in unison, what? This is impossible. What the hell? It can actually break our black dragon sky swallowing jar. Advertisement chapter 299. I was careless. When the three of them saw the target clearly, they were stunned. It's that good-for-nothing kid just now. Doesn't he only have the strength of a lower god? How could he possibly break the black dragon swallowing cloud jar that only the Lord God can shake? Mr. Zhe was blowing his beard and staring. UB**********D. After saying this, without caring about the demeanor of an expert, he flashed in front of Qixing. His big hand was like a cattail leaf fan, carrying the power of thousands of stars, and suddenly slapped Qixing's head. If this shot was true, Qixing would only be shot in the head. Destiny. Ignorant boy, you should be proud to die in my hands. But the old man obviously thought too much. The old man only used 30% of his strength to deal with the 7 stars, who were only lower gods. However, it was the old man's contempt that made him regret it for the rest of his life. I saw the old man's big hand falling, and the surrounding space was shattered by the big hand. But at the moment when the big hand was about to hit Qixing, Qixing activated the infinite airspace in 1/100th of a second, and countless folded spaces enveloped Qixing. The old man reacted instantly, and his whole body was shaken. In less than a second, the field of Qixing was dispersed. In less than half a second, Qixing once again started the 6th stage of the super game transformation, pink transformation, and at the same time, his body was transformed. The shape shifted a few inches, barely escaping the old man's big hand, and then the same punch was thrown out. The old man only heard the sentence, 1,000 times Kaio fist. I felt like the world was spinning, and the fist that could have been easily avoided hit my chest inexplicably. The whole world was moving forward, but I was the only one who was retreating rapidly. By the time the old man reacted, his body had been knocked out thousands of meters away, and a blood hole as big as the mouth of a bull was pierced through his chest. There were traces of blood gushing out like spring water. A mouthful of blood spurted out for hundreds of meters. The old man looked at Qixing in front of him with a face full of surprise, and then looked at his chest. He had suffered such severe trauma due to his carelessness. Everyone only heard the old man's last words, I was careless. Then he became so angry that he fainted. At this moment, the subordinates who followed the old man saw what was happening and quickly stepped forward to help the old man, feeding him medicine, taking out precious medicine to heal his injuries, and transmitting energy to help him recover. When Qixing saw this, he flashed and wanted to cut off the old man's head with a knife, so that he would definitely die. But just as he dodged, Fatty and Yan Laosan, who were watching the battle, reacted. You're looking for death. You don't care about martial ethics, you just carry out sneak attacks. As they spoke, the two of them formed a double team, appearing on the path that 7 stars must pass through. Qixing grinned. Even you want to stop me? After saying that, the fist that had been charged for 10 seconds flew directly forward. Charge up and punch. Open. The fat man originally wanted to utter big words, but when he saw the countless fists coming towards him from Qixing, he immediately backed away. He felt death from Qixing's fists. Although he stopped me, he still chose to avoid it. Because the old man behind him had nothing to do with him, there was one less person to share the merits with after his death. Later, if he captures the 7 stars again, he can get a lot of benefits from the old man's door. Why not? And this plan was planned by the fat man in just a moment. Advertisement. As soon as the fat man retreated, some of the people who had just been giving medicine to the old man formed a human wall, trying to block Qixing's fist, but they were not strong enough and were seriously injured by Qixing's fist. Together with the unconscious old man, he was also blasted into the endless void by the fist shadow. It was obvious that he had a narrow escape from death. But at this time, Qixing's back was also exposed to Yan Laosan's eyes. This old guy was mature and he agreed with Fatty's thoughts in an instant. How could he let go of this opportunity to capture 7 stars in exchange for benefits? Thinking of this, Yan Laosan raised his big hand towards the sky, and a transparent trident fell from the sky. The trident got bigger and bigger, and it had grown to 1,000 meters in an instant when it was 100 meters away from Qixing's head. Suddenly. At the same time, where no one noticed, a dagger as black as ink was thrown out by Yan Laosan, and the direction of the throw was not behind Qixing, but into the void where Fatty stood. Qixing saw the giant halberd above his head, and then slashed the dimensional blade into the sky. A 1,000-meter void blade hit the giant halberd head-on. There was a loud bang, and the giant halberd and the blade were shattered at the same time. Yan Laosan was not surprised either. He appeared behind Qixing like he teleported and slapped Qixing on the back with his palm. Qixing turned around to block, but Yan Laosan's strength was so great that Qixing's figure was also knocked hundreds of meters away, and he retreated to the vicinity of the fat man. At this moment, the fat man saw this, and had a rare opportunity. He took out a piece of red iron from nowhere. The chain trapped Qixing instantly. While Qixing struggled hard, he quickly kicked out 2-dimensional waves with his legs, hitting the fat man instantly. However, the fat man's figure swelled, and after a shadow enveloped him, Qixing's dimensional waves bounced back. Qixing was shocked and wanted to kick out 2-dimensional waves again to cancel out those 2-dimensional waves, but how could Fatty give him this chance? The fat man suddenly pulled hard, causing Qixing to become unstable and almost fall over. The dimensional waves under his feet also dissipated. The 2-dimensional waves that turned around directly hit Qixing, but a small 7-colored dragon suddenly appeared above Qixing. Xiaolong swallowed up a stream of 7-colored light and instantly wrapped it up. The next moment, dimensional waves flew through Qixing's body and flew behind him. But Xiaolong also turned into a 3-color elemental dragon because he spit out his origin and fell into a deep sleep at the same time. Originally, this little dragon was not as strong as a lower god, but it was so terrifying that Qixing could avoid an attack at the level of the main god. Qixing takes back Xiaolong. I want to use my own hollow ability to escape this weird chain, but this chain can actually hollow with Qixing. The fat man sneered and said, "Ignorance, this chain of mine is made of Hanyan meteorite iron. What it binds is your soul. Just go ahead and capture it, kid. If you hadn't gotten a lot of benefits in exchange, I would have killed you long ago. If you can give me your treasure, I can consider not torturing you, ha ha ha." Yan Laosan was not happy at all when he saw Qixing being controlled. This fat man is willing to give up. He will definitely use this control type of star weapon. It will be difficult to let him take the lead. Suddenly, Yan Laosan thought of something and roared angrily, "Boy, you killed Mr. J. I, Mr. Yan, will avenge Mr. J today." Chapter 300. Yan Laosan scheming. While he was talking, someone had appeared behind Qixing, and a star weapon slashed directly at Qixing's back. Qixing's figure was controlled and it was too late to dodge. I can only try to use distinguished heavenly gods to see if it can work on such a strong person. Thinking of this, the 7 stars and 9 Megatama Rinnegan suddenly widened, and an invisible red light radiated out in ripples. Yan Laosan instantly saw through the mystery of this glance, and at the same time understood Qixing's thoughts, so he took advantage of it. His expression became dazed. He recovered a few inches of the star weapon in his hand and directly cut off the heavenly soul lock that trapped Qixing. The fat man was shocked when he saw this. "Yan Laosan, you old fool, what do you want to do?" Yan Laosan smiled vaguely, and the dazed expression just now gradually disappeared. While his face turned pale with shock, he retreated sharply and shouted to the fat man, "Fat Blue, be careful about this kid's eyes. His eyes are weird." Although Fatty Lan didn't believe it, he felt there was no reason to refute it. So he said, "Let's stop hiding our clumsiness, Yan Laosan, let's take action at the same time and capture this kid. We'll share the benefits equally. How about that?" Yan Laosan didn't say much and said politely, "This is your Kangtian sect's territory. It all depends on Brother Lan's decision." The 7 stars, which had just been released from control, were once again bombarded by 2 powerful masters of the Lord God realm. Although Qixing's bloodline is powerful, his transformation ability always has a time limit. Yan Laosan had long seen the shortcomings of Qixing, so he had planned everything. The battle at this moment was ineffective, and every blow hitting Qixing's body was like scratching an itch, but Fatty Lan was different. This damn fat guy had many treasures on his body, and the various strange objects he took out from time to time made Qixing miserable. The 2 powerful men joined forces and defeated the 7 stars step by step. Seeing Fatty Lan's murderous moves, Qixing had no choice but to use his true trump card. Qixing's whole body was shaken, and a powerful blast of energy surged out of Qixing's body, knocking the 2 of them away. Then he took out the formless mask in the void with his right hand and put it on his face again. This mask has become extremely powerful since its last upgrade. The only downside is that after many upgrades, this mask has become a faceless mask. It also loses its transformation function, but has the ability to draw out the inner demons of the opponent, and at the same time can absorb a large amount of damage. Although it has become uglier, its usefulness has become greater. The moment Qixing put on the mask, Fatty Lan and Yan Laosan across from him felt a burning sensation in their hearts, and they felt like they were about to become the masters of the world. At the same time, I feel that after gaining this merit, my strength can easily break through the shackles and reach a higher level. But the next moment, the two of them vomited blood, and 200 times Ku fist hit their heads directly. Bang, bang, 2 explosions. The two of them flew thousands of meters backwards, holding their heads in shock. This is the inner demon tribulation. It is such a terrifying inner demon tribulation. I have no signs of breaking through. How could I be led out of the inner demon tribulation? Before the two of them could think about it, Qixing attacked again with 100 times Ku fist and the terrifying cutting power of the dimension blade. Advertisement. At this moment, Yan Laosan had an idea. At the moment of retreating, he tapped his feet in the void, and an invisible 100-fold gravity field appeared, causing Fatty Lan's escape speed to be reduced by half. Although he escaped the dimensional slash, he was forced to eat Qixing's 100 times Ku fist. The internal organs are directly displaced. Blood spurted out for hundreds of meters. But Fatty Lan didn't know that there was already a small sword as black as ink hidden in the void where he was retreating. The moment Fatty Lan retreated, it pierced his heart. At this moment, Fatty Lan, who was in the realm of the Lord God, would certainly not die, but what he didn't expect was that this small black sword contained poison, and the poison took effect at the moment. Fatty Lan only had time to yell angrily. The next moment, his whole body turned into a pool of blood. Qixing didn't know why, and he stopped in his tracks as he planned to pursue the victory. After seeing the fat man turn into blood and a small black sword disappearing into the void, Qixing's heart rang with alarm. The figure retreated rapidly. In the headquarters of Kangtian sect, in a bright secret room, a middle-aged strong man was sitting cross-legged in the void. Suddenly his eyes widened. What? Alan is dead. What happened? Here comes someone. After shouting these words, 2 shadows immediately appeared. I met the sect master. In the far north, on the outskirts of the greedy Wolfstar territory, Alan is dead. Check it out for me. Well, sect master, that is the most barren starfield in the entire world. It is nearly tens of thousands of light years away from our Kangtian sect headquarters. How come Controller Lan went there? Now go check and find out who Alan has been in contact with in the past few days. Give me a satisfactory answer within 3 days. It's the sect master. After a few people retreated, the master of the Kangtian sect stood up and murmured. Everyone thought that I was still in the critical period of breakthrough, but they didn't know that I had already broken through the shackles. It seemed that my parenting was out of control, so let me see who wants to target my Kangtian sect this time. As soon as the words fell, the figure of the Kangtian sect master disappeared suddenly, leaving not even an afterimage. But at this moment, outside the greedy Wolfstar territory, in the battlefield where Qixing was, the chief steward of the Kangtian sect died. The disciples of the Kangtian sect stared with disbelief on their faces. The chief steward was dead. That boy not only killed the elder, but also our chief manager. Go back and report to the master. Hundreds of people actually retreated at the same time. He didn't take any notice, he was obviously frightened, and it was impossible for Qixing to pursue him. In the end, only Yan Laosan and Qixing were left on the battlefield, as well as the divine form that was absorbing merit breakthroughs. I thought it only took 3 minutes for this guy to break through, but I didn't expect that now that 3 minutes had passed, things would take such a turn. Qixing was also surprised. All the minions had run away. Could it be that Yan Laosan didn't bring a younger brother with him? Yan Laosan saw Qixing's thoughts and said with a smile, the little guy and I have always been alone, so that we can maximize our benefits. But are you waiting for him to absorb the merits and help you after the breakthrough? Naive guy, you probably don't know that when you break through to the realm of the Lord God, there will be a small inner demon tribulation. If there are no guardians, guidance, there is only one way to fail, and failure is the end of life and death. The calamity of inner demons is not something that cats and dogs can easily survive. Asking for help from God, you think it is so easy. Hearing this, Qixing's heart skipped a beat. There's still a G inner demon calamity. But Shenshi has been preparing for 3 lives, how could he not know this? Chapter 301 The Divine Style about to awaken. At this moment Qixing looked at Yan Laosan. I saw this guy smiling at the corner of his mouth, making a strange handprint with his hands, and a fiery red dragon flew directly towards Qixing. But Qixing could feel that this attack was just superficial. There is no substantial harm. Qixing dodged to avoid the red dragon. Looking curiously at the giant dragon that exploded like fireworks. Suddenly a strange light bloomed where the red dragon disappeared. This light covers the sky and the sun. Just a second later the light disappeared again. Qixing was really wondering what this was, and Yan Laosan spoke. Ha 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 ha, in the end, I am the only one who gets this opportunity. Boy, I have activated Tokyaker. Then we can have fun. Although I have to admit that your strength is quite good, and you can actually bring out the demons in my heart. Is it your strange eyes? Or is it this weird mask? You have a lot of good things. Although Qixing felt something was wrong, He still said disdainfully, "You are the only one left now. Do you think you still have a chance of winning?" "Ha ha ha ha, boy. Do you really think you have the strength to kill Old Man Jay and Fatty Lan? Both of them have been in the realm of the Lord God for hundreds of years. Do you think you can kill them easily with the little power you borrowed them?" After hearing this, Qixing finally figured out the doubts he had just had. "My own strength, even after the transformation, is not so ridiculously strong. Could it be that you are doing everything secretly? Ha 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 ha, if it weren't for me, you would have died a long time ago, so you have to thank me, right?" As he spoke, Yan Laosan also took out another sky-swallowing jar from his waist and threw it into the void above Shenqi's head. The merit above Shenqi's head was directly divided into two. Just listen to Yan Laosan continue to say, "I want the merit. You two are very talented. If you are willing to surrender to me, I can take you away now. How about you, little guy?" Qixing laughed when he heard that. "I don't know the divine form, but I think you are not qualified enough to make me surrender." Yan Laosan was not angry. "Do you know why I wanted to lend your hand to kill those two guys?" "HMPH. I'm just afraid that someone will trouble you later." "Haha, yes, this is just one of them. The other one is that I want to monopolize this merit and opportunity. I can feel that if I can win this merit, I will definitely be able to break through my own shackles. At the same time, the talents of both of you it also appeals to me. HMPH, if you say this now, you won't be afraid of others hearing you." Advertisement. Yan Laosan laughed loudly. "What do you think the red dragon I released just now is? It is the hidden time. It can prevent others from using time to retroactively see everything that happened here. At the same time, it blocks all eyes within 100 miles. Okay, little one, now make your choice. Tell me your answer." "Old guy, you're thinking too much," Qixing said and started to attack immediately. Hundreds of afterimages surrounded Yan Laosan and punched him at the same time. The fist wind shook the sky. Because Qixing guessed that this old thing probably saw his own weakness and was stalling for time, and his transformation time was really running out, only less than 5 minutes. If the divine form had not been successful in this time, then both of them will definitely die. The old man also noticed that Qixing had guessed that he was acting, so he stopped pretending and showed off his cards. "Boy, there's nothing wrong with being my incarnation, but I can use it even if it's a corpse." After Yan Laosan finished speaking, a large amount of green light appeared around him. The green light formed 4 giant shields and surrounded Yan Laosan. The afterimage of the 7 stars was quickly dispersed when it hit the green shield. This is definitely a star that can return attacks. Device. At the same time, a transparent trident once again appeared in Yan Laosan's hand. Divine light flowed from the body of the trident, and then a water dragon flew out from the body of the trident and bit into the 7 stars. Qixing held the water dragon's upper and lower jaws with both hands, but the water dragon was too strong and was knocked back quickly. However, Yan Laosan's speed was faster than the speed of light, and he appeared behind Qixing instantly. One blow penetrated Qixing's body. He spat out a mouthful of blood, but this Qixing was just a clone of Qixing's artifact. At the critical moment, Qixing and his artifact exchanged bodies and appeared 1,000 meters away. When Yan Laosan saw this, he said suspiciously, "There are still a lot of good things." After saying that, he quickly moved forward to fight with Qixing. At this moment, Qixing became more and more frightened. It was obvious that Yan Laosan had clearly hidden his strength just now, and now Yan Laosan seemed to have been given a shot of chicken blood, and his strength suddenly doubled. Qixing could only be beaten passively, but fortunately he had a strong Super Saiyan bloodline and gained experience from being beaten. It cannot be said that there is no power to fight back, it can only be said that the level gap is too big. Although Qixing had many methods at this moment, none of them could kill Yan Laosan. And Yan Laosan's sky-swallowing jar will be full in a few minutes. At that time, there will be no need for God, this tool to attract merits, to be alive. It has been almost 10 minutes since the divine style began to break through. It is obvious that even fellow practitioners from the 3rd generation of divine style want to survive the inner demon tribulation. It's not that easy, not to mention that Guy also said that he wants to continuously break through to higher realms. At this moment, Qixing could hardly hold on any longer. The system, cheat, was at a critical moment of upgrading and was not with him, and the small items he had purchased were almost used. If you continue like this, you will only be beaten passively. Suddenly, the colorful light pillar in the sky suddenly dimmed by 3 points. The 2 men who were fighting turned their heads to look at the merit light pillar at the same time. Qixing was shocked. Although Yan Laosan is using the sky-swallowing jar to share the merits of the gods, why is the speed and amount of such huge merits falling suddenly doubled? This has to be very doubtful. Are there other beings stealing merit? But at this moment, the divine aura was getting stronger and stronger. It was obvious that he had successfully survived the inner demon tribulation and was about to wake up. Chapter 302. It's time to transform. When Yan Laosan saw this, he couldn't care less about what kind of existence was stealing merit. He gave up attacking the 7 stars, turned around, and quickly headed towards the divine form that was about to awaken. Yan Laosan chose to kill the god who was about to wake up first. After all, this guy's aura seemed to be getting stronger and stronger, even surpassing his own. But how could Qixing do what he wanted at this time? While dodging, the dimensional blade slashed directly at Yan Laosan's back. Yan Laosan did not look back, let alone dodge, and allowed Qixing to slash at his body with one strike. In Yan Laosan's hand, A water-light trident was stretched out rapidly and thrust straight towards the divine form, which was suspended cross-legged under the colorful beam of light. At this moment, two muffled sounds suddenly came from this side of the world, bang, bang. The first sound was the 7 stars slashing into Yan Laosan's back, and there was a bang. It only broke Yan Laosan's defensive artifact, but he didn't expect that the old guy was also wearing a star weapon soft armor. Hearing the harsh friction sound, together with the splashing sparks, Qixing's eyes widened. This guy is actually a diamond with iron bones. The second sound was from Yan Laosan's super artifact mimicry trident, which hit the cross-legged floating divine-style head-on. The divine-style guy is indeed a mature man, and has already laid a terrifying barrier around him. And the energy that drives the barrier is the power of merit. If the merit in the sky does not disappear, the divine merit barrier will probably be difficult to break. Qixing saw that his attack was not successful, and his figure instantly opened up. However, when he discovered the barrier arranged by the divine style for himself, he still couldn't help complaining. No wonder this guy knew that someone would come to snatch his merits and even threaten his life, but he didn't care at all. It turns out that he had planned everything long ago. At this moment, Yan Laosan also discovered this. He actually used merit to set up a barrier. It seems that this guy came prepared. But do you think that the merit barrier can save you? You are naive. My sky-swallowing jar is not a vegetarian. When I increase the intensity, your boy will die. However, before Yan Laosan finished speaking, the colorful pillar of merit, which had shrunk to the size of a fist, suddenly shrank to the size of a little finger. At this moment, a stream of light suddenly separated from the pillar of merit. Without anyone seeing it clearly, the stream of light had penetrated deep into Qixing's eyebrows. That speed is so fast. No, this can no longer be described as speed. I saw Qixing's head tilted, and the next moment a sentence of nonsense burst out from Qixing's mouth. You guy, you actually sucked away 60% of the merits and didn't leave any for me? That's right, the system actually appeared at this point in time, and the prompt that the upgrade was completed kept echoing in Qixing's mind. Qixing was secretly happy, but on the surface he looked calm, because once the system was successfully upgraded, Qixing would be able to achieve a major improvement. That is a promotion that can directly break through the divine realm and reach the next stage. It is more terrifying than the divine breakthrough. Advertisement as for why the system flew out of the merit light pillar. This has to start from the moment when the merit light pillar falls. The moment Qixing discovers the merit light pillar, Qixing has already started to make plans for the merit light pillar. He even guessed that as long as the 7 stars touch the merit light pillar, the system will automatically rush in and absorb it. So as early as when Qixing was fighting Yan Laosan, he deliberately leaned over there. Look for opportunities to get close. Yan Laosan's attack in the end was also a part of helping him successfully complete his plan. The moment Qixing touched the light pillar, the system instantly disappeared from the center of Qixing's eyebrows. It's no wonder that the light beam, which is supposed to be as thick as a bucket, consumes most of it in a few minutes. Not to mention that the divine form has not completely broken through for so long and is still struggling. The reason is that the system guy went to the merit pillar to upgrade. If there is no system left to cause trouble, I am afraid that the divine style will really break through in 3 minutes. But now, Yan Laosan is still stealing his merits. He probably feels that his merits are decreasing rapidly, so he chose to only reach the limit of the main god realm and then look for other opportunities to break through. And the remaining merit is only enough for him to reach the limit of the realm of Lord God. At this moment, the divine eyes finally opened, and at the same time, the pillar of merit light as thin as a thumb disappeared without a trace. The merit barrier around the divine form also loses its effect. What came oncoming was the movement of Yan Lao's hands making secrets. At the same time, the sky-swallowing jar quickly grew in size, and it was covered fiercely, trying to take away the divine form together with the merits in his body. Qixing's breath also receded rapidly at this moment. It was obvious that the time for his bloodline transformation had come, and the feeling of falling to the altar made Qixing uncomfortable. When Yan Laosan sensed the changes in Qixing, he was overjoyed. Finally there is one less powerful enemy. In Yan Laosan's eyes, Qixing is now a waste. But Shen Shi sensed the crisis. While he was missing a helper, he had just made a breakthrough and was not fully familiar with this terrifying power. It's not too big at the moment, although he is already on par with Yan Laosan in strength. Both of them are existences at the extreme level of the main god realm, but after all, the divine form is new to this realm, while Yan Laosan is an experienced person. However, Shen Shi had already planned. This time, as long as he could hold the opponent back and put away the dark jar, it would be considered a success. The sky-swallowing jar in Yan Laosan's hand has become the target of the divine battle. Yan Laosan wanted to put away the sky-swallowing jar and retreat temporarily, but Shen Shi was already prepared to bully him directly, giving Yan Laosan no chance to control the sky-swallowing jar. At the same time, Shen Shi shouted loudly, 7-star boy, hurry up, go and take away the sky-swallowing jar. I will be very grateful then. Qixing did not hesitate, and moved forward quickly. Of course, he was not helping Shen Shi snatch it, but wanted to take the jar himself, and maybe improve some strength. At this moment, Yan Laosan cursed in his heart, idiot, although that is not my natal magical weapon, it is not something that a mere low-level god like you can shake. Chapter 303 You can live if you sign. At this moment, the 7-star system returned. A black light flashed in the palm of his hand, and at the same time, he held the mouth of the jar. This sky-swallowing jar didn't even resist at all. Not only was Yan Laosan dumbfounded, but even the divine figure was confused at this moment. How is it possible? That thing is a super divine weapon of the Lord God. How could it be so easily held by a boy of a lower god? Shouldn't it be very difficult and take the strength of 9 dragons and 2 tigers to subdue it? The 2 people who were supposed to be fighting stopped fighting at this moment, and the boy in front of them looked weird all over. Both of them had an ominous premonition in their hearts at this moment. But Qixing wouldn't care about these 2 guys. After putting away the sky-swallowing jar, he looked at the newly appeared system. The functions are more complete, more intelligent, and the items in the system mall are more advanced. I don't know if it's because of the upgrade, but I don't know why I no longer have to pay back the millions of points I owed. Now it's all about the extra 600,000 points. Qixing only felt that he was extremely rich now. But these are not reasons for Qixing to be excited. What makes Qixing the most happy is that the system has not only automatically upgraded, but also the task rewards for the system upgrade have also been completed by Qixing by default. At this moment, just click on 7 stars to receive the reward. You can break through to the realm that people yearn for. How could Qixing be so polite? System. Break through. I also want to know what the great realm after the divine realm is like. As soon as the words fell, Qixing felt a clear and hot energy from his mind, quickly flowing throughout his body. At the same time, his aura was also rising rapidly, and this time there was no shackles like the feeling of being forcibly raised due to blood. It was more comfortable, very comfortable, and his whole body felt like it was being caressed by countless gentle little hands. Press lightly. Qixing almost moaned. At the same time, his realm also improved from the middle stage of lower god, to the early stage of middle god, then to the middle stage of upper god, and finally to the late stage of main god. This process only took less than 7 seconds. Otsutsuki Shenshi and Yan Laosan were already dumbfounded. Even if they were beaten to death, they would not believe that a person could raise his strength to this level twice in such a short period of time. And this time, this kid didn't use any method to improve his strength. It seemed that his own strength suddenly awakened. Shenshi said in shock, he won't want to break through the divine realm and reach a higher realm. The 2 of them were in disbelief and quickly retreated. When Shenshi and Yan Laosan looked back at Qixing's state, they were almost frightened to death. This kid is still improving his strength. He has already reached the limit of the divine realm. At the moment when the 2 of them clicked their tongues, the limit of the 7-star Lord God finally ushered in a breakthrough. The 2 of them felt as if there was an explosion of evening drums and morning bells in the body of the 7 stars, and that was exactly when the blood was squeezed out of the heart, and quickly flows through the body. Advertisement within 100 miles of this void, there seemed to be an invisible pressure, squeezing their bodies into this void. At this moment, all the souls and bodies of the 7 stars were sublimated, and an unprecedented powerful feeling swept through the whole body. A majestic force that could not be perfectly controlled poured out of Qixing's body. At this moment, Qixing felt that he could control the hundreds of miles of void, but he seemed to be missing something. The system prompts sound continuously at this moment. Ding! The prototype world of the host has been detected, which can be used as a medium for the host to break through to the immortal realm. Please let the host make the prototype world become its own inner world. Close black lens bracket. Qixing chose yes without hesitation, because this world slowly grows from your own eyes, and is the most suitable for you. Thinking of this, Qixing took out the prototype world that had already grown to maturity. At this time, Qixing's right hand pulled out something from the void of the Great Thousand World, threw it into this world, and then drove this world into his dantian. The next moment, earth-shaking changes began to occur in the world, as if it was being destroyed, but also seemed to be reborn. This process may take some time, which means that at the same time that the evolution of the inner world is completed, the 7 stars will truly stabilize the realm of immortality. At this time, Yan Laosan and Shen Shi looked straight at Qixing. What that boy just took out seemed to be a mature prototype world. He really succeeded in breaking through. He really became a being above the main god. That's immortality. No one in the world can get through this state so quickly. The calamity of inner demons is second, and the energy of fatty is not that important. But this prototype world that can fit in with itself is what stumps those powerful people. The key to the winner. How did he do it? Is this guy an old monster who hides his strength? That must be the case. Otherwise it wouldn't make sense. Qixing didn't pay attention to what the 2 said. He just looked at Shenshi and Yan Laosan and made a big move. Although the 2 were hundreds of miles apart, their bodies flew backwards towards Qixing uncontrollably. At this moment, the 2 of them were so frightened that they really regretted their actions. I didn't expect that this guy, such a strong man, would pretend to be a weakling to defraud people of merit. That's right, at this moment, deep down in their hearts, the 2 of them already regard Qixing as an old monster who has lived for tens of thousands of years. Otherwise, who could go from a lower god to a realm beyond the main god in such a short period of time? There is also such a prototype world that suits oneself. When it comes to the immortal realm, there is a huge difference between the immortal realm with an inner world and the immortal realm without an inner world. Obviously they think Qixing is hiding his strength just to gain this little merit from the world. Shen Shi also understands everything now. It turns out that this guy had planned everything a long time ago, pretending to be a pig and eating the tiger. I didn't expect that he was the real tiger. I thought I had a chance to win, but I didn't expect that I lost my wife and lost my army in the end. But they don't know that all this is due to the system, and it is because of this system that Qixing has risen from a weak chicken to a strong man in the world in just a few minutes. At this time, the 7 stars can suppress an area of hundreds of miles at the snap of a finger. Shenxi and Yan Laosan didn't even dare to move. Qixing didn't say anything, just threw out 2 contracts and said with a smile, "Sign this and you can live." Chapter 304. The dimensional world merges into the world. The 2 of them were crying with big faces, and said with a smile on their face, "Oh, sir, what kind of contract is this?" While speaking, with quick eyes and quick hands, a drop of blood fell directly on the scroll. Both of them are mature and wise people. They know that after asking this question, no matter what the contract is, it must be signed first to show sincerity. This is also an invisible exchange condition. See if your future life is completely in the hands of this adult. Qixing did not hide anything. Although this is a master-servant contract, as long as you serve me faithfully, I will let you go after 100 years. When the 2 of them heard the master-servant contract, their hearts froze, but when they heard the second half of the sentence, their eyes lit up. 100 years, Wakao, this is just a period of retreat. The 2 of them promised at this moment that they must do it for your majesty. You are riding in front of your horse and behind your back. Qixing smiled and removed the ban on this space. At the same time, a big hand was waved towards the sky, and countless blue lights illuminated the endless world. The dimensional world that had just merged into the vast world should have been extremely unstable. After all, many rules of the 2 worlds were different. It would take time to truly eliminate them, but Qixing just waving his hand made Yuanji truly integrate into the world this time. The flow speed of time and space gradually becomes more peaceful. At this time, all the creatures in the dimensional world were trembling just a moment ago, because the power of time and space in the vast world is eroding the dimensional world, which has caused extremely unstable space cracks to appear in the spaces on all planets. But the next moment, after being comforted by Qixing's hands, the world seemed to become calm, and the power of time and space that invaded the dimensional world gradually converged. Everyone finally breathed a sigh of relief. The thin barrier between the entire dimensional world and the world finally dissipated. At this moment, the lives in the dimensional world are breathing the air of the universe. At the same time, the world was on the verge of collapse because of the battle between the lower gods. Finally, a finger reaching the sky entered the new ninja world from the void of the outer domain. Those lower gods who wanted to invade the new ninja world disappeared without even having time to react. The new ninja world, which had just gone through a great war, once again embarked on a journey of restoration. Kagaya looked at the finger in the sky covered in blood. He knew that it was the backhand left by their master Qixing. Just when the people around him wanted to ask something, suddenly a terrifying sense of crisis enveloped the new ninja world from a planet several light years away. No, it should be said that it covers all the planets in the entire dimensional world. Everyone just felt that death was coming. He had to be pinned to the ground by this force, unable to move. Looking again at the void where the 7 stars were, Shenxi was about to say something when suddenly a dark cloud suddenly appeared above the endless void, covering the sky and the sun, while there was a strange ripple in the void not far away. It was as if a hole opened in the lake, and a tall, bear-like man wearing blue clothes walked out of it. The man looked at Qixing and the others with sharp eyes. Qixing was okay and as steady as an old dog, but Yan Laosan and Shenxi felt like they were being stared at by Shinigami. At this moment, Yan Laosan looked at this man's face and was shocked. "Master of the Kangtian sect, Kang Shang. You actually made a breakthrough, and you made a breakthrough only recently. Oh, I didn't expect that there are still people in this remote area who know me, so you guys killed Alan, right?" After hearing this, Yan Laosan and Shenxi looked at Qixing. Qixing frowned. This guy had a condescending tone. Qixing felt very unhappy when he saw it. After thinking for a moment, he said, "Are you talking about the guy named Fatty Lan? If it was the fat man, I was indeed the one who killed him." Advertisement. Oh, now that we have found our target, it doesn't matter which family you belong to, or how tough your background is, you will definitely die today. After the words fell, a violent energy surged out of Kang Shang's body. Qixing felt that a hurricane exceeding level 12 was sweeping through the space around him. Yan Laosan and Shenxi were like 2 leaf boats in the sea. The body kept shaking. Only Qixing stood firmly in the void, pressing down with his hands. This terrifying hurricane was instantly wiped out by him. Kang Shang was slightly surprised and let out a light sigh. Interesting guy. At this moment, Qixing is not attacking, but using the system to detect the master of Kangtian sect. Open black lens bracket ding. Target, Kang Shang, the master of Kangtian sect. Age, 40,000 years old. Realm, early stage of immortality, without obtaining the complete inner world. Combat power, early immortal realm talent, demonic bear transformation. After transformation, one's own physical strength can be increased by 100%. Skill, close black lens bracket. These are all the information displayed on the system panel. Seeing this, Qixing had a basic understanding of this guy. Facing such a strong man for the first time, Qixing was not panic at all. Not to mention that he also existed in this realm. Secondly, his blood transformation was much better than this one. The guy's transformation was more than 100 times stronger. Just as Qixing was preparing to attack, Kang Shang suddenly spoke. "Hey, what kind of ability did you use to detect me in such a subtle way? Although I can't find out where he comes from, My intuition tells me that there is some kind of mysterious force spying on me. Is it you, boy? There are so many strange things about you. It seems that I am really at the right place when I appear this time. I am physically invincible against beings of the same level. As the words fell, Kang Shang's unpretentious attack also appeared. Kang Shang's arrogance surged, and a huge arrogance shadow quickly grew in size and rushed towards Qixing. Qixing sensed the threat at this moment and did not dare to be careless. He kicked Yan Laosan and Shenqi away. His body didn't move, and he easily took the fist of Kang Shang's arrogant shadow with just his strong body. Chapter 305 Blood Dragon Bear. Kang Shang didn't feel surprised at all. After all, he could feel that this kid had broken through to this realm not long ago. It just so happens that I can verify how strong I am after spending countless resources to reach the realm. Thinking of this, Kang Shang made a straight punch with his fist, and the Gangmo fist suddenly swung out, and the space exploded at this moment. Immediately, an invisible fist shadow came towards Qixing carrying thousands of powerful forces. Qixing was several kilometers away, and they could feel the biting wind radiating from the fist shadow in all directions. Qixing just wanted to retreat, but the strong wind seemed to turn into a needle, surrounding Qixing with water. At this moment, Qixing could only choose to receive the punch forcefully. He saw a red light flashing on Qixing's right fist, and Qixing swung out 1,000 times Kaio fist. With a bang, even the space in front of Qixing was penetrated by him. Wherever the fist shadow passed, the space collapsed and the void disappeared. All traces were erased. When the two fist shadows met, there is no doubt that 1,000 times Kaio fist destroyed the Gang Demon fist without consuming even one layer. Flying straight towards Kang Shang. Seeing this scene, Kang Shang panicked and kept shouting in his heart, "How is it possible? How is it possible to have such strength just after breaking through? What kind of magic is it? It is so powerful." But now is not the time to lament this powerful ability. Kang Shang didn't have time to think too much. He directly chose his most powerful ability, transforming into a demon bear. Kang Shang was instantly surrounded by black demonic energy, and streams of red flames overflowed from the black demonic energy. At this moment, Qixing could only see a giant beast getting bigger in the bursts of black demonic energy. The two blood-red eyes were as big as millstones. Qixing's thousand-fold KO fist hit the giant beast in the black smoke head-on, and only heard an explosion. The giant beast looked up to the sky and roared. After being knocked back 100 meters by the Kaio fist, his body finally stabilized. At this moment, the black demonic energy was dispersed by the fist wind, and the appearance of this giant beast showed its true appearance. Then he saw the monster, with a bare face and dragon horns, 30 feet tall, with big arms and a round waist, a giant tail holding the sky, and red scales all over his body, as if blood was oozing out. Ding! Host, please note that this is the top 50 races in the world, the blood dragon and bear race. This kind of giant beast is born with the ability to transform into humans. It will be sealed by the race when it is young and sent to the human race to live. When it reaches adulthood, it will be taken back to the race. Internal liberation releases the seal within the body. He is a born lower god, but the progression speed is not fast. And every adult dragon bear is the key protection object of its race. Because if the blood in their bodies is taken by humans, it can greatly increase the upper limit of human bloodlines. However, if you take too much dragon bear blood, you will be scalded or even scalded to death by the dragon blood. Close black lens bracket. Qixing didn't expect that this turned out to be an ancient giant beast, the blood dragon bear. No matter what race he is protected by, this kind of rare protected animal is what I want most. Advertisement. As he spoke, Qixing's mouth was watering. He didn't hide it, and his Super Saiyan transformation went directly to the sixth transformation, the pink transformation. But this time when this transformation was initiated, Qixing's overall strength did not increase much, but his combat power was only increased by 60%. At this moment, the giant beast attacked forcefully. Its huge body carried a huge force, and its mountain-like fist slammed into Qixing. However, Qixing just made a simple movement, lightly punched, and the surrounding space was shattered again. Kang Shang's the huge fist was numb to the roots. At this moment, the giant beast stared with eyes as big as millstones and said in disbelief, "What kind of monster are you? You are stronger than the Dragon Bear clan." Qixing ignored him, spread out his fist, and struck down with his palm. He saw a 100-meter-long green wind, which instantly formed an arc and slashed towards the giant beast, Dragon Bear. When the giant beast saw this, he didn't talk nonsense. He strangled it with his fingers, and the bloody light flowed on the 10 bear claws, and they cut out crosswise. 10 red lights instantly met the cyan arc of the 7 stars. There was a crisp thud. The red light broke off, and the cyan arc light directly hit Kang Shang's 10 bear fingers. The next moment, the 10 bear fingers were disconnected one after another. Qixing was inexplicably excited when he saw the dragon bear's blood. The big hand moved toward the void, and the blood gathered together. After being purified by 7 stars, there was half a cup. Qixing did not hesitate. These should be enough for me to improve my bloodline. Then I took a sip of blood that was as big as my fist. Dragon Bear saw the 7 stars marching like this. I really want to say, are you polite? But at the same time, Longshang already had the intention to retreat. He could see that the kid in front of him was very weird, and he was using all kinds of strange methods in an endless stream. He also knows that the blood of our clan needs to be purified before consumption. Obviously he is not a child of a small family. The dragon bear retreated for a lifetime, looked at his 10 bear claws, and suddenly half of his fighting spirit disappeared, and his figure quickly retreated. After taking the earth dragon bear blood, Qixing's eyes widened with disbelief on his face. My blood power has actually reached 67%. Just this one drop added a little bit. Then if I add a few more drops, I can start the next stage of transformation. He did what he said, but the figure of the dragon and bear in front of him had already run thousands of feet away. When Qixing saw that his treasure had run away, he was unwilling to let it go. His body just flashed, and the void in front of him automatically broke open, leaving a void passage and the afterimage of Qixing in place. The 7 stars people have already arrived behind Long Shang. Little bear, don't run. Leave your blood. Hearing this, Kang Shang, who was running so fast, almost stumbled and fell. Boy, don't think that I am afraid of you. After all, I am a being of the same level as you. If you keep doing this, we will be dead. Chapter 306 The Ultimate Freedom. Qixing Li ignored Kang Shang, pointed his hands together, and slashed hundreds of knives. I saw countless sharp blades slicing through the bear's body, and dense blood fell from its body. Qixing waved his hands repeatedly, and the blood was refined by Qixing in the sky. When it reached Qixing's mouth, it was ready to be taken. Just like this, a full 10 minutes passed. The two of them chased and escaped, and Qixing poured out 5 waves of essence and blood on Kang Shang. At this moment, the development rate of Qixing's bloodline power has reached 69%. We are just a little bit closer to starting the 7th change of the Super Series. At that stage, 7 stars can unlock this body and even weirder powers. That kind of power is different from the previous way of fighting by sensing chi or chakra. It relies on conditioned reflex movements of various parts of the body without any thinking from the brain, maximizing movement speed and reaction ability. The body and consciousness are separated, allowing each part of the body to sense dangers around it beyond instinct, without the need for the brain to think before taking action. It is also at this stage that Qixing can automatically master this power, which is called the ultimate intention of freedom. The excited Qixing wanted to do the same to Kang Shang, but the two of them unknowingly came to a strange planet. Everywhere they could see on this planet, the earth was covered with blood-colored soil. From time to time there will be traces of heat coming out of the soil. As soon as he entered this planet, Qixing felt that the blood in his body was restless. At this moment, Kang Shang stood thousands of meters away from Qixing with an ashen complexion. He has already seen that Qixing is a vampire and will not stop until he is sucked dry. Therefore, he was not prepared to run away again, and at the same time, he chose this Scarlet Starfield as the place for the decisive battle. Boy, I told you not to bully others too much, now even if you kneel down and beg me, I won't let you go. After saying this, Kang Shang closed his eyes tightly, stamped his legs on the ground, and strange talismans suddenly appeared around his body. At the same time, the blood in his body actually came out of his pores, instantly submerged into the ground. The next moment, the sturdy Kang Shang became as skinny as a stick. At Kang Shang's feet, a strange 6-pointed bloody star array suddenly lit up, covering it. An extremely dangerous aura continued to permeate the bloody planet. The bloody monsters that were originally alarmed by the movement here rushed here, but the next moment, a strange aura of death made these eyes red. The beasts stopped and then retreated. Disappear into this land. Qixing only felt a soft sound from Wang, and then a ripple radiated across the entire planet, and a bright light in the sky instantly fell into the Kang Shang 6-pointed star array. In just a few breaths, the 6-pointed star dispersed, and the moment Kang Shang opened his eyes, 2 blood swords suddenly shot out from his eyes, attacking Qixing. Qixing wanted to hide, but these things were like maggots attached to bones. Qixing could only take out his own balls of the element-devouring beast and open his mouth. With a grunt, the blood sword disappeared. Dandan burped and didn't even wake up. Immediately, a soft buzzing sound sounded in the empty land. Element-devouring beast. I didn't expect that there is such an ancient creature here. It is still sleeping. Is it evolving? Interesting boy. But I didn't expect that you would push little Kang Shang to such an extent, and even use the magic of seduction. After the blood essence is burned, it will take at least 10,000 years of rest to have a chance to return to the previous state. Although your talent is good, since I'm here, I have no choice but to ask you to die. Remember my name, I am Kang Mie. Advertisement. After saying this, Kang Mie's body suddenly changed. Although he did not release any momentum, the muscles on his body swelled like air. The body directly grows to 5 meters. The terrifying muscle trembling caused the surrounding space to vibrate. At this moment, Kang Mie's body was surrounded by runes that were constantly flowing, and his eyes were blood red. Stare closely at Qixing. Qixing clearly sensed that the temperament of the person in front of him had undergone earth-shaking changes. Qixing also knew very well that this was no longer Kang Shang himself. He must be the guardian of his clan. Qixing didn't dare to entrust Dada. The energy cannon in his hand suddenly swung out, and a ball of light as dazzling as the sun flew out of Qixing's hand with an aura that destroyed everything. At this moment, Kang Mie just stretched out his right hand and spread his fingers, gently hold it forward. A muffled sound announced that Qixing's vitality cannon was easily extinguished by this attack. Immediately afterwards, the big hand suddenly waved forward, and the violent energy storm lifted the earth. Countless red tornadoes rolled over the earth and rocks, and quickly hit Qixing. Qixing opened his mouth to inhale, and suddenly spurted it out. The same huge tornado quickly formed, crashed together. Cancel each other out. But Kang Mie found the right opportunity at this time, and his huge body was already close to Qixing's body. Qixing looked surprised when he saw this. Fight me in close combat and seek death. Then countless fist shadows were waved, even the air was rubbed into sparks, and countless energy bombs flew out from the seven-star fist. Each precise hit the huge body in front of him. But Kang Mie didn't flinch at all, and fought back with hundreds of punches, each one with at least 1,000,000 tons of force. Qixing felt like someone was holding a mountain high up to his chest and beating his chest crazily. Mouthfuls of blood kept gushing out from his mouth. Under this high-intensity beating, the bones and muscles began to crack. A minute later, Qixing regretted what he had just said. This is also the first time that I have lost to someone else physically. Who can be convinced? Although this guy doesn't know what kind of strange ability he used, he still loses if he loses. Super Saiyan is not invincible. This guy's body is probably more than 10 times harder than his pink transformed body. Although he was surprised, Qixing did not flinch. There is no word, flinch, in the blood of Saiyans. At this moment, Qixing was also angry. He was fist to flesh with the giant in front of him. You hit my chest with one punch, and I hit it with one punch. You kicked me in the head, and I kicked you in the crotch. Although blood flowed out desperately, Qixing completely ignored the system prompts. The body has suffered extensive damage. If it is not repaired as soon as possible, the body will collapse directly. Close black lens bracket. At this moment, Qixing felt that the more he played, the more he felt better, and the more he played, the more selfless he became, as if his mind could no longer keep up with his body, and he responded in advance. At the same time, her originally pink hair was slowly changing to silvery white, and the wild aura around her was also slowly fading. Kang Mie, who was fighting with him, was a little strange at the moment. This kid has been getting stronger and stronger since he closed his eyes. It was obvious that he could hit this kid very easily just now. Why is it so difficult now? Chapter 307 Master Qixing is back. Kang Mie, who did not believe in evil, activated the secret method again, and saw a flash of blood all over his body, and his speed and strength increased to a new level again. But no matter what, Qixing can easily dodge and make the most effective counterattack. At this moment, Qixing unknowingly increased his bloodline to 70%, and at the same time automatically opened up the artistic conception of freedom. Although this power is not yet complete, as long as one has experienced this power, it won't be long before Qixing can fully master it. At this moment, Qixing is fighting more and more smoothly, which is very similar to the one-sided situation just now, but now Qixing is suppressing Kang Mie and fighting. I saw Kang Mie evolving into a roaring heavenly lord. The terrifying energy in his hands evolved and then exploded. The wind of his fist carried the power of opening the sky and broke the void. However, no matter what kind of attack Kang Mie launched, he could be easily dodged by Qixing, and he could also throw out a bunch of strings at will. The Qigong bomb and the Kaio fist that penetrated the void also hit Kang Mie head on under the influence of the Seven Stars domain. Kang Mie felt that the heat in his body was being consumed rapidly, and Qixing's fists hit him like a series of catastrophes, and his body kept cracking. Obviously, this Kang Shang's body could no longer bear Kang Mie. He couldn't bear such a violent blow from Qixing and was about to collapse. At this point, Kang Mie had no choice but to grit his teeth and could only temporarily give up on this advent and choose to return, but he didn't know that Qixing's restraint on the spirit body was outrageous. At this moment, Kang Mie's spirit body had just emerged from Kang Shang's body, and in the second half of the second he had just breathed in the fresh air. He only felt a purple light covering him, and then he came to a strange world. The sky here is dim, the vegetation is sparse, and the earth is dim. Although it looks vast, there is very little life. Kang Mie didn't have time to think about where this was. Now was not the time to sigh. At this moment, Kang Mie's spirit body was bright. The spirit body was like a sharp sword darting left and right in the sky. It even shattered most of the space at one time, but only a few seconds passed. It was reorganized by unknown beings, and he couldn't find out where this place belonged in the vast world. At this moment, Kang Mie was anxious. Could it be a trap set by my opponents? B*************. D. How dare you plot against me? How could my soul, which is at the peak of immortality, be captured and exploded by a mob like you? Before Qixing could come in to interrogate some information, he felt a terrifying soul power sweeping through his inner world. Countless lives in the world fell to the ground at this moment, but the earth and the soulless vegetation were not damaged at all. It was obvious that Kang Mie's soul exploded, destroying all the souls of the creatures here. As soon as Qixing entered his inner world, he felt spirits from all directions pouring into his soul body. I want to resist, but there is no way, because these souls are not dangerous at all. Advertisement. After absorbing this soul, Qixing felt something different, but the next second, Qixing seemed to understand something, but regretted that it was too late to absorb his soul powers. After all, his soul had been sublimated again. But what's even more troublesome now is that Kang Mie's incarnation exploded, and the guy's body must be able to sense the direction. It seems that I have to leave here as soon as possible, otherwise the dimensional world that has just merged into the world will be affected. But what Qixing didn't notice was that when the soul power of the inner world was absorbed by Qixing, a bloody lightning mark was quietly formed in Qixing's bloodline. Even the system was not aware of this mark. It was just Qixing's 5 senses that told him that a crisis was approaching him. A sense of urgency forced Qixing to improve his strength as soon as possible. Thinking of this, Qixing's legs just lightly kicked the ground, and the whole person disappeared on the planet. At this moment, the scene changed. Shenshi and Yan Laosan, who had been kicked away by Qixing, were looking at the southwest, which was the direction Qixing was chasing Kang Shang. The two of them were waiting anxiously. Suddenly the seven-star figure appeared in front of the two of them. The two of them hurriedly greeted him respectfully. They looked at the Kang Shang in Qixing's hands with different expressions. But they all chose to remain silent for the time being. At this moment, holding Kang Shang's body, Qixing said, Yan Laosan, I know that your technique is special and you need a suitable body to be reincarnated. How about this? Sir, this, I'm afraid it's inappropriate. I didn't know he was from the Kang clan before, but now. HMPH, don't you have the courage? Becoming stronger will be accompanied by countless crises and deaths. If you don't have an enterprising heart, you will never have the hope of becoming a strong person. Hearing Qixing's words, Yan Laosan gritted his teeth and stood stunned for a few seconds, then knelt down and said, Thank you, Master, for your advice. This body is very suitable. Although most of my blood and essence have been depleted, I will definitely be able to make up for it in less than 10 years. Very good. I'll leave it to you. After saying that, I threw the bear out with only one breath left. Let's go. Find a suitable place to talk to me. Now you come with me to the ninja world. The moment the voice fell, Qixing waved his hand, the three figures disappeared on the spot, and appeared directly in the ninja world the next second. However, a group of people who were busy with the reconstruction work stopped their work immediately when they saw Qixing appear. They all shouted, Sir 7 Stars is back. Lord 7 Stars is back. Chapter 308 The End, Island also the beginning, complete. Qixing didn't speak. He just looked at everyone's familiar faces, and the idea of leaving became more determined in his heart. Now I am being targeted by a more terrifying existence or race. In order to become stronger and to find the place in his heart, Qixing must choose to leave here. At this moment, Qixing spoke, I have done everything I can do. Then you will start to develop from here and slowly radiate to the surrounding areas. All floors in the Tianji Tower have been opened. I hope that when I come back again, this place will be in the great world. Make a name for yourself, maybe even have a place. You don't have to hide like you are now. Everyone was encouraged after hearing Qixing's words, it's your lord. Then everyone thought of something, Sir, you have to leave. I am not safe for you here, and I also want to travel around the thousands of stars in this world. So you don't need to persuade me anymore. Everyone should perform their duties. After saying this, when everyone wanted to talk to Qixing again, they found that as long as they were talking to adults, they could not make a sound. Lord Mingming Qixing was in front of me, as if he was separated by a starry sky. Seeing this scene, everyone understood what was going on and didn't get too entangled. At this time, Qixing did not leave immediately because the person he wanted to see had not yet arrived. He simply took out a strange compass in his backpack, playing with it. After the 7 stars injected enough rules into the compass, he finally showed his true face and said in surprise, This is actually a star-guided compass. The compass always points in one direction, but where is this place? Qixing does not know the specific information in this direction. Even the upgraded system can only display the specific information of the place after Qixing reaches that place. As you can imagine, the vastness of the world is vast. Suddenly an idea flashed in his mind, and something that looked like a crystal ball was held in Qixing's hand, with countless stars flashing in it. When I first got this thing, there were only light spots inside, but even the system couldn't recognize it. But now in the vast world, this crystal ball does not require system identification or input of energy, and it actually automatically displays some of its functions. This turned out to be a spherical star map. Star guide, star map. Close black lens bracket. I was really dozing off. Someone gave me a pillow. Looking at the two items in my hands, Qixing thought of Blue Star. I have traveled through time for 30 years without realizing it. Now that I am in this vast world, can I find the existence of Blue Star? While Qixing was studying the star map attentively, a woman with bright eyes and white teeth slowly walked towards Qixing holding a small green-skinned beast. The little beast tilted his head and was looking at the motionless Qixing. And more attention was paid to looking at Qixing's sleeping balls on top of his head. The woman stood in front of Qixing, waiting for him. When Shen Shi saw this woman, he frowned slightly. Xie Li, no, she is dead. You are not her, but you are very similar to her. The woman didn't answer the god's words. She just watched Qixing put away the objects in her hands and said, My lord, I want to leave. Qixing wondered, why is there a sound when my barrier is not removed? Looking up at the woman in front of him, who was less than a foot away from him, Qixing looked suffocated. Take half a step back. I panicked, and my heartbeat accelerated. The woman covered her mouth and chuckled, seems very happy. Qixing knew he was embarrassed, and then looked at the small green-skinned beast in the woman's hand. It suddenly dawned on me. I didn't expect that Gigi, an advanced natural elf, could use the vegetation and breeze to convey Kagaya Li's thoughts. He is really a clever little ghost. Seeing that Qixing didn't answer, the woman asked again, Do you want to leave, sir? If you really want to leave, can you ask Kagaya to follow you? Advertisement. Look at Kagaya Li. Qixing removed his own barrier. He opened his mouth and said, That's where I'm going this time. He pointed at the starry sky behind him. I don't know what's there, and life and death are not under my control. If you follow, you may death. It doesn't matter, as long as you can follow the adults. Qixing thought for a few seconds. Okay, let's go. Qixing was about to leave, and all his subordinates asked Qixing to take them with him. Qixing looked at the burly men and the graceful girls with a serious look on his face. Why, you think I'm just going for fun? The dimensional world has just integrated into the world, and there are still many things that you need to develop. If you leave, who will guard this home? Everyone bowed their heads, not daring to say anything more. Qixing softened his tone. Kang Shang is dead. Kang Tianmen must know that Yan Laosan will use Kang Shang's body to reincarnate. When he wakes up, he will definitely become immortal, but before that, you have to protect him. God style, I will leave this pot of merit to you. Only if you break through, will this place be temporarily safe. As for a suitable inner world, I have a good prototype world here, and I will also give it to you. If I am not here, this place will be safe. I leave it to you to protect. It's my lord. At this moment, everyone was looking at Qixing intently, and everyone knelt down on one knee at the same time. Farewell to Master Qixing, and congratulations to Master Kagaya. At this moment, Qixing held Kagaya Li with his left hand and pushed his right hand towards the sky, causing a space crack to open. Qixing turned back and looked at everyone's faces for the last time. Don't slack off, your journey has just begun. I hope we meet again in 100 years and you will be like this. After the words fell, two figures got into the crack in space. As the crack closed, the two of them disappeared into the void,